Chapter 11:16. Yes. The dusk of all heavens has appeared. The system's electronically synthesized cold voice sounded. After the system finished speaking, the system space was silent for a long time. The little dragon looked up at the sky for a long time before he came back to his senses. His expression was very complicated. There was worry, confusion, and doubt. According to his speculation, the dusk of all heavens would appear at least thousands or even tens of thousands of years later. But what was the situation now? Dusk of the heavens didn't know, because his appearance not only saved the saints, but even the system in the heavenly realm also sensed the terrifying might of heaven and earth. What now? After a long silence, the little dragon looked up at the sky. Lin Rei is still in the other world. Now that the dusk of all heavens has appeared, the holy world will definitely make a big move. I understand what you're thinking. The electronic voice sounded. Of course, the system knew what the little dragon was thinking. From the beginning, the little dragon didn't want Lin Rei to go to the other world. The system paused for a moment before it continued. The dusk of all heavens has appeared in advance and will definitely cause chaos in the holy world. This is a good opportunity for Lin Rei to rise. Moreover, if the item in the deepest part of the ancient land of the netherworld is obtained by others, it will be an indelible danger to the entire holy world. Only Lin Rei can quickly rise and transcend the current eternity boundary if he obtains it. You know that. The little dragon was anxious. Since the system said so, it meant that Lin Rei would return soon. In that case, I understand what you're thinking. Actually, letting Lin Rei go to the other world is unnecessary. I originally wanted to let Lin Rei rest for a while in the other world. Now it seems that there's no need for that. Then, the little dragon tried to probe. Bring Lin Rei's physical body and go there. If possible, you can let Lin Rei directly ascend to the holy world from the other world. Only in this way will Lin Rei be able to rise up quickly. When he reaches the holy world, he won't be injured or even killed in the battle at the ancient land of the netherworld. The system's voice was the same as before. It was cold and emotionless. At this moment, the little dragon was overjoyed. He missed Lin Rei very much after not seeing him for a long time. After all, strictly speaking, he had raised Lin Rei like a son and disciple. Understood. When are you leaving? Looking at the little dragon's heart, the system shook its head helplessly. It did not expect the relationship between the little dragon and Lin Rei to be so deep. Now. As soon as the system said this, the little dragon's figure entered Lin Rei's body. In the next moment, Lin Rei woke up from his tightly shut eyes. He stood up and rested his head on his spear. With the power of the heavens and the earth as support, the teleportation array is formed. The system's electronically synthesized voice sounded. A huge teleportation array appeared in the depths of the divine domain. Looking at the scale, Ruo Lin Rei would definitely be shocked and envious when he saw this teleportation array again. Moreover, Lin Rei would definitely realize that the level of this array was much stronger than the arrays that he, a Saint Stage Array Master, was unaware of. The little dragon understood tacitly and went to the center of the teleportation array to wait for his own teleportation. Get ready. Because your compatibility with Lin Rei's body is not high, the teleportation array will have some effect on you. Cut the crap and dilly-dally like a sissy. Hurry up. The little dragon said impatiently. The system ignored the little dragon's urgency. The teleportation array emitted a shocking light that instantly buried the little dragon. Boom! The rumbling sound came quickly and disappeared even faster. In the blink of an eye, the light appeared. When they looked again, the light had disappeared without a trace. It was as if it had never appeared. The entire divine domain returned to the same scene. The array that the system set up previously also disappeared along with the little dragon. Destiny Realm, the deepest part of the Ash Cloud Mountain Range. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't know that what happened in the Holy World had affected his pace of entering the Holy World. Even the system was a little anxious. Originally, he still had 100 years to spend in the other world, but now, Xiaolong had brought his physical body to the realm of destiny through the teleportation formation, and his originally peaceful life had disappeared along with it. A day had passed since Lin Rei gave the mission to Lu Changtian and the Blood Spirit Sky. The two left the Ash Cloud Mountain Range on the same day and headed to the capital of the Guangyun Empire. As for Lin Rei himself, he was in a cave. Because of the existence of the little golden coffin, his cultivation realm improved by leaps and bounds. Of course, this destiny realm improved by leaps and bounds. It wasn't a real cultivation world. To be honest, this little bit of spiritual chi was far from being as endless as the spiritual chi in the cultivation world. Boom! A muffled sound came from Lin Rei's body, accompanied by a heart-palpitating pressure. With Lin Rei as the center, it swept out in all directions. Boom, bang! In the cave beside Lin Rei's cultivation cave, Huiyun felt that her cultivation was low from the previous incident. So, during this period of time, she cultivated day and night in order to increase her strength so that she wouldn't be a burden to her son. Originally, she wanted to talk to Lin Rei today. After all, they hadn't seen each other for a long time. As a mother, how could she not miss her son? However, she needed Lin Rei to cultivate, so she couldn't do as she wished. In the end, she could only return to the cave and cultivate. But who would have thought that Huiyun, who had just started cultivating, would suddenly feel a terrifying pressure? She didn't even have the chance to react and was instantly suppressed to the ground. Fortunately, Huiyun's cultivation technique was indirect. Because the surrounding spiritual chi was flowing too fast, she didn't have the time to cultivate her cultivation technique. Fortunately, this was the case. Otherwise, if she was suddenly in the middle of cultivating her cultivation technique, even if she didn't go berserk, she would still be seriously injured. Lying on the ground, feeling the cold sensation from the ground, she was speechless. This damn child. If he wants to cultivate, then cultivate. Why did he have to make such a big commotion? Is he trying to kill his mother? Huiyun didn't need to think to know who this pressure came from. In the entire Ashen Cloud Valley, only her precious son, Lin Rei, could do this. Although she was complaining in her heart, she was still in a good mood because of her son's high cultivation. At least he could survive in this man-eat-man world. As for Huiyun's current state, Lin Rei didn't know. If he knew, he would forcefully stop cultivating even if he didn't break through. Huff, huff, Lin Rei, who was cultivating, had a very regular aura. His breathing was even more regular and natural, as if he had merged with heaven and earth. I've finally broken through. Although I've just entered the Golden Core realm, at least I've recovered to the Golden Core realm. I can also use some of the commonly used techniques. As he muttered in his heart, his originally closed eyes slowly opened. His hands quickly formed a seal. His movements were fast and mysterious. Walala. Suddenly, the sound of flowing water could be heard from the cave. As time passed, the sound of flowing water became louder. Imperial Water Technique, Water Dragon Breaks the Sky. A water dragon as thick as an arm rushed out from the seal formed by Lin Rei's palm. Chapter 11-17. After using a minor technique, Lin Li calmed down and once again entered a state of cultivation. The cave once again returned to silence and darkness. As for Huiyun, she naturally didn't lie on the ground anymore. She got up and walked out of the cave. She didn't dare to stay any longer. She didn't want to rush out after what happened just now. It was too embarrassing. Moreover, the ground was really cold. At this moment, her face was still cold. In front of the Guangyun Empire's imperial palace, Lu Changtian brought the blood Ling Tian here as he wished. Standing in front of the gate of the imperial palace, Lu Changtian calmed himself down as he looked at the enormous structure. Then, he walked inside. Clang! Clang! Suddenly, there was the sound of weapons clashing. The guards in front of the maze saw Lu Changtian's action and had a gloomy expression. They drew their weapons and crossed their arms to block Lu Changtian's path. "Who is it?" A man who looked like the guard commander walked out. Although it wasn't clear what his official rank was, this man's armor was different from the other guards. It looked very high class. The sudden obstruction made Lu Changtian frown slightly. He sneered in his heart. To be honest, he didn't want to kill. This time, he was here to kill one as an example to others. He disdained these small fries and didn't want to kill them. "Get out of the way. You are not a match for this sovereign. If you continue to obstruct me, you will only be throwing your lives away." "Humph, Brother Imperial Palace, if you don't have the Imperial Lord's command token, you are not allowed to move around. Please reconsider. Don't be impulsive and throw your life away." The guard commander didn't seem to hear Lu Changtian's warning and tried to stop him. Sigh. Ignorant. The guard commander's attitude was very clear. For this reason, Lu Changtian didn't want to explain. He had already reminded them, and it was he who didn't want to leave. As such, Lu Changtian didn't have any burden in his heart. Swish. There was a piercing sound, and a 3-foot-long cold sword appeared in Lu Changtian's hand. The long sword emitted a faint cold light. A cold light flashed at the tip of the sword. "Since that's the case, don't blame me for being merciless." As he spoke, he didn't give the guards any time to react. He took a step forward and used the flowing water sword art. The sword rose, and the scene of blossoms and blood appeared in front of the imperial palace. What was a single slash to the throat? What was 7 kills? What was an instant kill? Wasn't Lu Changtian doing the right thing? The sword struck out at an incomparably fast speed. It streaked across the 7 people like a bolt of lightning. Poochie, the sound of flesh being cut rang out. At this moment, Lu Changtian stepped past the guards and arrived in front of the gate. Behind him, the 7 guards seemed to have been immobilized and were frozen in place, not moving at all. If someone were to observe closely, they would be able to see that there was a faint mark on the guard's throat. "Let's hope that I won't be so foolish in my next life." Without turning back, Zhang Xian sighed and walked into the palace. In the depths of the imperial palace, in the cultivation room of the empire's old ancestor, the old man who was cultivating suddenly opened his eyes. A blood-red light flashed in his eyes, and his killing intent soared. "Humph, ignorant brat, a mere martial venerable dares to behave atrociously in my Guangyun imperial palace. Do you really think that this old man is dead?" Lu Changtian didn't know that the old man had sensed him when he killed the 7 guards. Of course, if Lu Changtian didn't know, he wouldn't be afraid. Instead, he would sneer. What should this be called, meeting enemies on a narrow path? Enemies on a narrow road? Or is it that enemies meet on a narrow path? Sensing the shocking killing intent emitted from Lu Changtian's body, the old man's face turned gloomy. He remembered that it had been many years since anyone dared to provoke the empire. What was even more shocking was that a mere martial venerable dared to challenge them. Didn't he know that the martial god was in the Guangyun imperial palace? Of course, the old man didn't think too much about this. At this moment, he only knew that the empire's reputation was being challenged, and as the empire's guardian, he couldn't just stand by and watch. He got up and waved his hand, and the door of the cultivation room opened. His figure instantly disappeared from the cultivation room and rushed in the direction of Lu Changtian. Not only the old man, but Li Huangdao also sensed it. He was even more furious than the old man. Previously, he couldn't defeat Lin Rui, so he could only endure it. But now? One after another, what are they doing? Are they trying to ascend to the heavens? He got up and rushed towards Lu Changtian like the old man. The two of them seemed to have agreed beforehand. Lu Changtian didn't know that after entering the imperial palace, he didn't release his perception. It wasn't that he didn't want to, but that there was no need to. He was here to kill, so there was no need to be so cautious. Anyone who tried to stop him would be killed. Hiss, hiss, walking on the main road of the imperial palace, he heard the hissing of a snake. You're awake. Lowering his head to look at the blood spirit sky in his arms, Lu Changtian revealed a smile and relaxed the tension in his heart. Even though he was confident in fighting against the martial god, he really didn't have any moves against the martial god. He didn't even know if he could exchange half a move with the martial god. Hiss, hearing Lu Changtian's words, the blood spirit sky rolled his eyes as though saying, "Nonsense, isn't it obvious?" Of course, Lu Changtian couldn't understand the blood spirit sky's words, while Lu Changtian only heard the hissing of a snake. Looking at the blood spirit sky, Lu Changtian was speechless. He didn't say anything since he couldn't understand it. "Humph, you little bastard. Just you wait. After some time, I will be able to speak the human language. When that time comes, I will torture you to death." Looking at Lu Changtian, the blood spirit sky said angrily. "Linley, you scoundrel. You're obviously very powerful yourself, but you just had to make me do it. What, do I have to be your little sidekick?" Thinking back to Linley's previous orders and threats, he felt extremely unhappy. But the blood spirit sky could only grumble now. If he were to face Lin Rei, he wouldn't even dare to let out a fart. Someone's coming. Just as the blood spirit sky was venting his dissatisfaction, suddenly, a powerful aura rushed toward him. Hiss, hiss, sensing the approaching energy, the blood spirit sky hissed and pointed his tail in the direction of the approaching person. "You mean someone's coming?" Looking at the blood spirit sky's actions, Lu Changtian understood even if he was a fool. "Yes, he's coming." Looking at Lu Changtian, the blood spirit sky showed a trace of sympathy. Facing a warrior who was one stage higher than him, he was somewhat worried if Lu Changtian could defeat and kill him. There were people who could fight above their level, but it was very rare. After all, not everyone wanted to be like Lin Rei. Lu Changtian understood the blood spirit sky's intentions and didn't move. Instead, he stood on the spot, looked in the direction the blood spirit sky pointed, and waited quietly. A few minutes later, two figures appeared in Lu Changtian's line of sight, one after another. The instant they saw Lu Changtian, they came to a stop and sized up Lu Changtian. "You? Why are you in my palace? Emperor doesn't remember doing anything wrong to you, right?" Li Huangdao spoke. He was puzzled as Lu Changtian wasn't affected at all. He didn't understand why Lu Changtian was here. Chapter 11-18. Looking at the two of them, Lu Changtian's eyes were cold and emotionless. Killing them was no big deal. It was better than killing all of the Lin family's enemies. After all, that was the matter of the previous generation. Looking at Li Huangdao, Lu Changtian said, "This matter is very simple. Kill the chicken to warn the monkey. Use the Guanyin Empire's imperial clan to intimidate all the clans in the Destiny realm. As for the reason, don't tell me you don't know about the Lin family. Although you're part of the Fengyun sect on the surface, do you think you can get rid of your traces? You." Hearing Lu Changtian's words, Li Huangdao was startled. He looked up at Lu Changtian. He understood the reason for this matter. After all this time, it turned out that the Lin family had come to take revenge. However, when did the Lin family have a martial saint cultivator? Wasn't the best cultivator in the Lin family only a general during the investigation? And an old guy at that. Li Huangdao looked at Lu Changtian in confusion, a trace of disdain in his eyes. In his opinion, a martial saint cultivator dared to barge into the Guangyun Empire alone. In the eyes of outsiders, this was undoubtedly courting death. Even in Li Huangdao's eyes, this was an act of suicide. Do you think you can defeat me? Li Huangdao looked at Lu Changtian and asked. His words were filled with dominance and an inviolable tone. You? Looking at Li Huangdao, Lu Changtian only wanted to say, even if I can't defeat you, I have to fight. Otherwise, I'll be the unlucky one in the end. If he had to face Lin Rei's torture or fight Li Huangdao, Lu Changtian would choose to fight Li Huangdao without even thinking about it. In his opinion, fighting Li Huangdao was not scary. Lin Rei's torture was the most terrifying. He did not want to face it, nor did he want to endure it. He could only fight. I think you should be the monarch lord. However, I agree with what you said before. But at the same time, I also want to say this. Although in your heart, I might be very weak and am not a match for you, but I must act because I have no other choice. Moreover, are you so sure that I'm not your match? Could it be that in your opinion, there is no such thing as killing someone above your level in this world? Or is it that you've never left the Guangyun Empire since you were born, so you've formed a frog at the bottom of a well? Lu Changtian was not afraid of angering Emperor Li. This was exactly what Lu Changtian wanted to see. You, very good. I hope that your mouth will be tougher than it is now. Otherwise, I'm afraid that you won't be able to take it. After saying that, Emperor Li disappeared from where he was. Oh, very good. That's how it is. Let me see what the strength of a martial saint is like. He understood Lin Rei's thoughts. Since Lin Rei wanted him to fight against a martial saint, it was enough to show that even if he faced a martial saint, he wouldn't be in any danger. So what if he got injured? As long as he didn't die, it would be fine. Li Huangdao made his move while the old man remained where he was with a solemn expression on his face. The instant Li Huangdao made his move, a heaven-shaking pressure appeared from Lu Changtian's body and disappeared in an instant. Even though it was only for an instant, the old man could still feel the heaven-shaking pressure. He was sure that Lu Changtian must have something that could threaten him. Moreover, this thing's cultivation was far above his. A sense of crisis welled up in his heart. I hope my premonition is wrong, otherwise. The old man still had hope in his heart. After all, until now, he had only seen Lin Rei who was stronger than the martial god. Bang! The sound of weapons colliding rang out. The two figures collided in an instant. The weapons in their hands collided. Both sides seemed to be evenly matched. However, Lu Changtian was shocked by Emperor Li's strength. Although it was only a collision, Lu Changtian could feel a huge force from his opponent's weapon. It spread through the sword and into his arm, then into his body. Cough cough, Lu Changtian's internal organs were in pain because of the collision. He couldn't help but cough. Humph, little guy, didn't your parents tell you that you can't fight recklessly when the difference in cultivation is too big? Even if what you said before was true, there are warriors in this world who can kill people above their cultivation level. However, it's not you because you're too weak. Bang! After saying that, Emperor Li increased his strength and threw Lu Changtian away. Bang! Bang, bang, Lu Changtian was shocked. He felt his body flying away uncontrollably. Along the way, several obstacles were unable to stop Lu Changtian's body. Finally, he regained control of his body after flying 100 meters away. Finally, he landed on the ground with a perfect 360-degree rotation. Pfff, he spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was flushed. His clothes were tattered and his hair was a little messy. One move. Just one move had made him suffer such a huge loss. This made Lu Changtian very depressed. He had only wanted to test the waters. He didn't expect his opponent to be so rough and overbearing. He attacked with all his strength right from the start. Looking up at Emperor Li, Lu Changtian was stunned. He spat out a mouthful of blood. The originally weak aura instantly disappeared and was replaced by an overbearing and simple aura. Emperor Li, although I don't want to say it, but you're too confident and arrogant. Furthermore, you might be wrong about one thing. I, Lu Changtian, am an existence that you will never be able to surpass. After saying that, he got up and tore apart his tattered clothes. He reached out and the sword in the distance flew back to Lu Changtian's hand automatically as if it was summoned. With the sword in hand, the aura of "I have the world" burst out of Lu Changtian's body the moment he grasped the sword. A terrifying sword intent crazily surged. At this moment, Lu Changtian was serious. This was the first time in his life that he was so serious. He didn't want to die. He could only kill the obstacles in front of him. How is this possible? Li Huangdao was shocked. Looking at Lu Changtian's figure and feeling the shocking sword intent that soared into the sky, he was dumbfounded. Was this still the ant that he defeated with one move? Was this still the ant that he looked down on? How did he suddenly become so sharp and powerful? It made him feel an indescribable fear. Although Li Huangdao didn't want to admit it, this shock was too sudden. It made him feel that it was unreal. Seeing Li Huangdao's shocked expression, a disdainful smile appeared on Lu Changtian's face. Nothing is impossible. Originally, I wanted to play with you for a while. But now, since you're serious, I have no choice but to be serious too. After saying that, he looked at the old man in the distance. As for you, don't stay idle. Since you're here, stay. After saying that, he took out the blood spirit sky from his bosom. Big brother, let's end this quickly. Chapter 11:19. Hiss, he raised his head and looked at Lu Changtian. The reluctance in his eyes dissipated. He was unhappy with Lu Changtian's actions. However, when he thought of Linli, the unhappiness he felt just now instantly disappeared. He turned his head and looked at the old man in the distance. A trace of disdain flashed across his eyes. Blood Spirit Sky didn't seem to care about the old man's strength at all. A woo! Suddenly, a beast roar came from Blood Spirit Sky's mouth. The sound was so loud that everyone couldn't help but cover their ears. Asterisk swoosh. Asterisk a fiery red figure flashed past quickly. In the next moment, a gigantic creature that was dozens of feet long appeared in everyone's sight. *CK, seeing Blood Spirit Sky suddenly grow bigger, Lu Changtian couldn't help but curse. His face was filled with shock. As for Li Huangdao and Lu Changtian, it was needless to say. If Lu Changtian was like this, one could imagine how uncontrollable their expressions were. How, this thing's cultivation. The moment Blood Spirit Sky appeared, the old man was dumbfounded. The aura he felt from Blood Spirit Sky's body was like an abyss, causing his parents to break out in cold sweat. His heart was bulging, making him feel like he couldn't control himself. Can I beat it? Looking at Blood Spirit Sky, the old man asked himself. He really had the urge to ignore it and turn around to run away. However, Blood Spirit Sky didn't care about the old man's thoughts. In his opinion, the old man was already a dead man. With a furious roar, he appeared in front of the old man in an instant. He opened his bloody mouth and swallowed the old man. His movements were smooth and without any hesitation. He didn't slow down because of Blood Spirit Sky's huge body. Blood Spirit Sky's speed was too fast. It was so fast that the old man only reacted when he sensed the smell of blood. Looking at the bloody mouth rushing towards him, the old man's figure paused for a moment. Then, he regained his senses and quickly retreated. At this moment, the old man panicked. What face? What dignity? In the face of death, all of these were nonsense. The old man used his fastest speed. He didn't think about anything else. He just wanted to escape from this dangerous place that he would never forget for the rest of his life. Humph, do you think you can escape? Seeing the old man's actions, Xue Lingtian's face was filled with disdain. To be honest, he couldn't even be bothered to attack the old man. If it wasn't for Lin Rui, he wouldn't even look at him. Old ancestor, in the distance, in the blood spirit sky, everything had happened so quickly that it was too late for Li Huangdao to react. Looking at the old ancestor fleeing in panic, Li Huangdao only felt that today was his doomsday. Ken thought that the one who came was a bronze, but he didn't expect that the one who showed up in the end was a king. Bastard! When did the Lin family have such a powerful cultivator? Why didn't the spies receive any information? Emperor Li was still complaining about the spies. You're distracted. Your opponent is me. While Li Huangdao was still in a daze, Lu Changtian's figure flashed and appeared in front of him. The long sword in his hand quickly rushed out, aiming for Li Huangdao's heart. As he attacked, he did not forget to say, "Don't forget, the biggest taboo in a martial artist's battle is to be distracted. Otherwise, you will die." The long sword arrived in an instant. Because Li Huangdao was stunned for a moment, it was too late for him to react and resist. Puchi. The sound of flesh being pierced was heard. Blood flowed like a red flower on Li Huangdao's chest. Ah! Li Huangdao screamed as he felt the pain in his chest. His face instantly turned pale. No matter who the heart was, even if it was an old man who had entered the martial god realm, if the long sword pierced his heart, he would also die. Pulling out the long sword, Lu Changtian did not give Li Huangdao any time to think and stabbed him again. However, because Li Huangdao had already regained his senses, and because of the pain in his chest, he felt the long sword coming again. Li Huangdao dodged as fast as he could. Slash! No matter how fast Li Huangdao was escaping, Lu Changtian's speed was not to be underestimated. However, this time, the long sword did not pierce other places. It only cut Li Huangdao's left arm. It looked like it was only a superficial wound and did not affect him at all. Well, you're talking pretty fast. However, be prepared. Today, your Li family will disappear from the Destiny realm. However, you should rejoice because you'll die a worthy death. Saying that, a melancholic bombardment began. Li Huangdao, who was heavily injured, became slower and more wounds appeared on his body. On the other side, the old man was battered and exhausted. At this moment, he no longer had his usual calmness and arrogance. Bam! With a muffled sound, the old man fell from the sky. His face was covered in blood and his clothes were tattered. His aura was extremely weak. I beg, Senior. It was not easy for me to cultivate. Please, don't say that to me. I was just following someone else's orders. Since they want you to die, you can only die. As for begging for mercy, it's none of my business. Without waiting for the old man to finish, Xue Lingtian rejected him directly. His tone was filled with displeasure. If Linli had been present, he definitely would have been able to tell that although on the surface he was refusing the old man's offer, in truth, he was unhappy with the mission Linli had given him. I say no more. Be prepared to die. With that, before the old man could speak again, Xue Lingtian opened his bloody mouth and swallowed the old man in one gulp. Old ancestor, Li Huangdao, who had been paying attention to his old ancestor, saw the old ancestor being swallowed by Xue Jiao. His face fell and his heart sank. A death aura that he had never experienced before emerged in his heart. It's over. Is my Guangyun Empire going to end today? Looking at Xue Jiao and Lu Changtian, his eyes were filled with hatred and murderous intent. Roar! Seeing Lu Changtian stop, Xue Lingtian roared at him with a threatening look in his eyes. It was as if he was saying, "You better hurry up. Otherwise, this daddy will swallow you." Looking at Xue Lingtian's naked expression, he couldn't help but shudder. Then, he quickly looked away from Xue Lingtian and turned to Li Huangdao. Die. At this moment, Lu Changtian didn't stop. The bombardment was faster and fiercer than before. PFFF, PFFF, sword after sword landed on Li Huangdao's body. Every sword hit his flesh and didn't miss a single spot. Flowing cloud sword art, surging wind and clouds. Using the flowing cloud sword art, Li Huangdao held his sword horizontally in front of his chest. Suddenly, several sword shadows appeared. This. Looking at Lu Changtian's sword art, Li Huangdao felt that his previous understanding was broken. Heaven wants me dead. Heaven wants me dead. Looking up to the sky and sighing, Li Huangdao knew that he would definitely die today. Chapter 11:20. It was as if he had completely lost the will to fight after witnessing what had happened. Seeing the dozen or so sword images flying towards him, Li Huangdao felt extremely helpless and bitter. Tendo, who will the heavens spare? Ha ha ha! Li Huangdao raised his head and laughed, but his laughter was filled with helplessness. Closing his eyes and waiting for death to come was the only thing Li Huangdao could do right now. In the face of Lu Changtian's bombardment and Xue Lingtian's covetous gaze, he really didn't know what chips he could use to get himself out of this predicament. AI. Seeing Li Huangdao waiting for death, Lu Changtian let out a long sigh. Although Li Huangdao deserved to die, it had to be said that he was quite good at governing. Moreover, Lu Changtian had come to understand Li Huangdao a bit more. Now that such a person was about to die at his hands, Lu Changtian felt that it was a pity. However, this pity did not make Lu Changtian feel any pity. After all, this person had been killed by his master. The sword images arrived in an instant and were about to pierce through Li Huangdao's body. Let's go. Perhaps because Lu Changtian thought that Li Huangdao was definitely going to die, he did not wait for Li Huangdao to die before turning to speak to Xue Lingtian and leaving. The dozen or so sword images gave off cold sword lights as if they wanted to devour everything. In the end, I still can't escape the fate of being killed. Sensing the aura of death ahead, Li Huangdao inwardly sighed and stopped thinking about it. Humph. On the side, Lu Changtian heard Lu Changtian's words and snorted coldly. He didn't pay any more attention to him and turned around to leave. In his opinion, Li Huangdao was definitely going to die. Of course, that was if nothing happened. After all, such things did not happen everywhere. As for that martial god-level old man, he had already become a part of Xue Lingtian's body. Gotcha! Suddenly, just as the two of them were about to turn and leave, a cracking sound rang out. The number of steps he took suddenly increased. As he stepped into the air, a bad premonition welled up in his heart. Gotcha! The voice grew louder and louder. Lu Changtian didn't think he had heard it wrong. The voice came from behind him, but it was a little different from what he had expected. Lu Changtian retracted his foot and turned to look in Li Huangdao's direction. If he didn't look, he wouldn't have known what he was doing. When his gaze landed on Li Huangdao, Lu Changtian was stunned. F***ck, what's going on? The bloody scene of death did not appear. Li Huangdao was still fine. He was not pierced by the sword shadow under the blanket, and his body was still injured. As for his own sword shadow, Lu Changtian suddenly understood the whole story when he thought of the shattering sound from before. That's not right. As if he had thought of something terrifying, he looked around and prepared himself for battle. His entire being was filled with vigilance. What's going on? Did you not practice your swordsmanship properly? Why is it so troublesome to kill someone? Xue Lingtian also came back to his senses. Seeing that Li Huangdao was fine, he frowned and looked at Lu Changtian. F***ck, what are you talking about? Lu Changtian rolled his eyes at Xue Lingtian. He didn't expect Xue Lingtian to say that. If it were anything else, perhaps Lu Changtian would have hesitated. However, it was the sword technique he had just used. It was absolutely impossible for something to go wrong. Impossible. Lu Changtian coldly replied. He then spoke of his guess. My sword technique can't be wrong. The only explanation is that there should be an expert around, an expert who can instantly shatter my sword technique. Furthermore, it seems that the other party was able to evade your senses without being discovered. Lu Changtian's words left Xue Lingtian speechless. However, after thinking about it carefully, it wasn't impossible. After all, there were all kinds of strange things in the world. There were indeed some techniques that could avoid the detection of divine sense. Although Xue Lingtian didn't want to admit Lu Changtian's words, he still released his divine sense and scanned the surroundings again. As for Li Huangdao, because he didn't feel any pain from his body, he couldn't help but open his eyes curiously. Huh? I'm not dead? Seeing that Lu Changtian was in the distance and that the dozens of sword shadows had disappeared, Li Huangdao was very puzzled. Of course, he didn't believe that Lu Changtian was soft-hearted and didn't kill him. Seeing Lu Changtian vigilantly scanning the surroundings, Li Huangdao was even more puzzled. Did you find anything? Lu Changtian looked at Xue Lingtian and asked. He didn't care about Li Huangdao's gaze. His only thought now was to find the other party. After all, the existence of such a person felt like a knife to his neck, as if he could take his life at any time. Lu Changtian didn't like this feeling, and Xue Lingtian was even more unaccustomed to it. However, no, are you sure you didn't sense it wrongly? Are you sure there's nothing wrong with your sword technique? Xue Lingtian questioned again. It wasn't that he didn't believe Lu Changtian, but he really didn't detect anyone else's presence in the surroundings. There were two explanations for what he was facing now. The first was that the other party's cultivation technique was so special that Xue Lingtian couldn't detect it. The second was that the other party's strength was above his, so he couldn't sense it at all. These were the only two explanations now. As for the others, they didn't exist. Lu Changtian didn't respond to Xue Lingtian's words. Instead, he looked around. Which scoundrel is hiding in the dark? What are you planning? A rat that only knows how to hide in the dark. Judging from your previous actions, it seems like you want to save Li Huangdao. In that case, why don't you come out and face him head-on instead of hiding in the dark? Lu Changtian's words entered Li Huangdao's ears. For a moment, Li Huangdao was stunned. Someone saved me? The moment this thought appeared, it was immediately suppressed. It wasn't that he didn't believe it, but the entire empire's only martial god had been killed just like that. How could anyone save him? Moreover, it was under the eyes of two great experts. Unless the other party's status had surpassed martial gods. But, was that possible? Still not coming out? Sensing that there was still no one around, Lu Changtian frowned. Could it really be me? Whoosh! Just when Lu Changtian saw that no one had come out, he couldn't help but wonder if his sword technique was really not good enough. Suddenly, the sound of something piercing through the air could be heard. Careful! At the same time, Xue Lingtian's voice could be heard. Quickly dodge. F***ck, what's going on? The moment Xue Lingtian spoke, Lu Changtian, who had been vigilant all this time, subconsciously used the butterfly steps and dodged to the side. Bam, rip, the sound of flesh being torn apart could be heard. Feeling the pain in his arm, Lu Changtian didn't cry out in pain. Instead, he was thinking about this matter. Damn, as expected, I guessed correctly. Hee, not bad, your vigilance is quite good. If you didn't have that bastard's warning, I'm afraid you would have become a cold corpse by now. A woman's voice sounded. Her words were filled with coldness, without the slightest trace of emotion. Bastard? Are you talking about me? On the side, Shueling Tian had been looking at the woman's figure. However, when he heard her call him that, the viciousness in his heart was instantly released. Obvious. Looking at Shueling Tian, Lu Changtian interjected. Although he knew that Lu Changtian couldn't understand his words, Shueling Tian still muttered, "Humph, hurry up and treat the wound on your hand. As for this ant, leave it to me to save him." Whoosh, after coughing, Shueling Tian's figure flickered and disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already in front of the mysterious woman. Looking at the woman's appearance, Shueling Tian couldn't help but click his tongue. TSK, your appearance is quite good, but it's a pity. The woman's complexion was delicate and pretty. Her entire face seemed to have been delicately carved. Those eyebrows, that nose, those lips, it was a perfect combination. Bastard, why did you come to Guanyin Empire to cause trouble? Why did you have to kill my emperor lord? The woman's voice was filled with dominance, an unquestionable aura. F***CK, is this little girl ordering me around? Looking at the mysterious woman, Shueling Tian was originally unhappy at being called a bastard, but who would have thought, since you're courting death, don't blame me for not knowing how to show mercy to the fairer sex. Shueling Tian could see the woman's cultivation with a single glance. Early spirit severing stage. With such a cultivation in the entire heavenly fate realm, it seemed that there was something wrong with her. Looking at the woman, Shueling Tian felt that something was wrong, but he couldn't tell what it was. Because he couldn't speak, Shueling Tian could only reply with a snake's hiss. In response, Lu Changtian slapped his forehead, a helpless expression on his face. Fine, let me do it. Thinking about it, Lu Changtian looked at the woman. Although she was beautiful, thinking about how powerful she was, Lu Changtian came back to his senses and didn't have any greedy thoughts. This. Senior, may I know who you are? Why are you stopping me from killing? What's your relationship with Guanyin Empire? As far as I know, the only martial god in Guanyin Empire should be that old man. Why? Asking one question after another, the woman looked at Lu Changtian and frowned slightly. She was very curious about how Lu Changtian was able to dodge her attack. Although Xuejiao warned him, it wasn't just a matter of luck. Most importantly, he had some strength. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to dodge so many attacks. My surname is Li, and my name is Yan Hui. I'm the daughter of the previous emperor of Guanyin Empire. Tell me, what's my relationship with Guanyin Empire? If the current emperor of Guanyin Empire were to die, the entire empire would be paralyzed. Do you think it's possible for me to allow you to kill him? You are. Li Huangdao was watching from afar. Naturally, he heard everything clearly. However, what shocked Li Huangdao was that the other party's identity was so precious. A daughter of the previous emperor. What kind of concept was that? She was much more honorable than him. If she wanted to control the empire, those old men would be more than happy to do so. However, staying alive was the most important thing right now. As for other things, they would have to wait until they were out of danger. The daughter of the founding emperor. That means, you also participated in the encirclement of the Lin family back then, Lu Changtian said. This time, his tone wasn't as respectful as before. The Lin family was encircled by the previous emperor of Guanyin Empire. Now that the founding emperor's daughter was here, then, he had to find the right person to take revenge on. You, the Lin family? Looking at Lu Changtian, Li Yanhui was confused. She seemed to be lost. Then, as if she was recalling something, she stood there in a daze. Lu Changtian didn't stop her. He turned to look at Shuelingtian and said, "Can you beat her?" "Humph, nonsense. If I can't beat you, do you think I'll still be here?" Of course, even if Shuelingtian said that, Lu Changtian couldn't hear him. In the end, he could only roll his eyes to express his thoughts. Okay. He didn't say anything else. He turned to look at Li Yanhui, waiting for her to wake up. Gray Cloud Mountain Range. As usual, Linli was training in his cave. However, for some reason, his soul seemed to have been summoned by something, and it wanted to leave his body and rush out of his body. Lin Rei felt helpless. He couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. As for the feeling of being summoned, he was very familiar with it. However, he didn't know what it was. For this reason, he kept stabilizing his soul and gave up on cultivating. Sigh, if only the little dragon was here. Now that the little dragon is here, she should know about this. Suddenly, he missed the little dragon very much. After all, they had lived together for 1,000 years. In the Guangyun Imperial Palace, the place was silent. Lu Changtian couldn't stand it anymore. "I say, are you okay? Can you say something? Are you or are you not? If you are, then you won't be able to leave today. The entire empire will pay the price for your actions back then." "You are from the Lin family?" Li Yanhui asked after being awakened by Lu Changtian. "That's right. I am from the Lin family. What do you think?" The Lin family, Indeed, the Guangyun Empire did participate in that encirclement. However, it seems that your Lin family went too far back then. You relied on your family's strength to disregard the lives of the people. If you want to talk about revenge, I think it's better if we destroy the Lin family. Back then, the Lin family killed the people of Dunran. The entire Destiny realm almost turned into a living hell because of the Lin family's cruelty. Now, you're biting back and reporting about the Empire's plans. What, do you think my empire is easy to bully? "You," said the Lin family, "impossible. How can the Lin family be like what you said? What I heard before is completely different from what you said." Lu Changtian didn't believe that the Lin family was like what the woman in front of him said. How could the Lin family be like what she said? What's impossible about that? As for the person you mentioned before, I don't know what his intentions are, but I just want to say that I, Li Yanhui, can swear on my life that every word I've said is the truth. There's not the slightest falsehood. Chapter 1121. Since Li Yanhui was so confident and her cultivation was so strong, there was no need for her to lie. But if that was the case, should he kill those people or not? Lu Changtian was at a loss. If he didn't know about this before, he might have been able to kill them. But now, Lu Changtian didn't think of himself as a good person, but he wasn't someone who would kill the innocent either. Now that something like this had happened, how could he kill them? What should I do? He turned his head and looked at Blood Spirit Sky. Perhaps Blood Spirit Sky could give him the answer he wanted. Even if she didn't, it would be good to give some constructive advice. Roar! Blood Spirit Sky let out a low roar as if to say, "Don't look at me. I don't know even if you look at me. I'm only responsible for killing." Then, she turned around and didn't look at Lu Changtian. Is this okay? Even if Lu Changtian was stupid, he knew what Blood Spirit Sky was trying to do. Looking at this scene, Lu Changtian was in a dilemma. On one hand, it was his master's order. On the other hand, it was that matter. What should I do? Kill or? Seeing that Lu Changtian didn't say anything, Li Yanhui was a little impatient. She wasn't worried about Lu Changtian, but she wasn't confident that she could kill the blood dragon. After all, the old man died in an instant. Even she couldn't do that. He wanted to respond to Li Yanhui, but he didn't know what to say. This matter was too difficult for him. For a moment, Lu Changtian could only choose to stay silent. His thoughts were running fast. He wanted to find a way that wouldn't make him feel uncomfortable and wouldn't go against Lin Rei's orders. Lu Changtian's silence made Li Yanhui very impatient. In her opinion, it was better to use this time to cultivate. Now, she had to waste it here. However, even though she was dissatisfied, she had to suppress it for the sake of Blood Spirit Sky. She turned to look at the injured Li Huangdao and walked to his side. She reached into her clothes and took out a jade bottle. Then, she threw it to Li Huangdao. "Drink it." Li Huangdao took the bottle and looked at the liquid inside. He did not hesitate at all. The situation could not get any worse. He would die either way. What if he made the right bet? With a gulp, he opened the bottle cap and drank all the liquid in the bottle. "Old ancestor, this is, looking at Li Yanhui, Li Huangdao was just about to ask Li Yanhui what was in the bottle when he felt a burning sensation in his internal organs. This scorching feeling came too quickly, so much so that Li Huangdao didn't even have time to react before it spread throughout his body. It was as if it wanted to incinerate him. Li Huangdao let out a blood-curdling scream. His face was flushed red, as if it was filled with blood. F***ck. Lu Changtian, who was deep in thought at the side, snapped out of his thoughts when he heard Li Huangdao's scream. He turned his head and was shocked when he saw Li Huangdao's current appearance. Then, he recovered. "You're making a fuss over nothing. Isn't it just taking some medicine? Really?" He glared at Li Huangdao coldly, then turned to Li Yanhui. "I say, this one. What do I have in mind? I won't accuse you and won't make things difficult for me. Are you willing?" "Of course. You don't have a choice. If you want to protect your Guanyin Empire, you have to listen to my orders." Li Yanhui didn't bring him along. In her opinion, Lu Changtian's words were pure nonsense. "All right, since that's the case, the two of you will come with me." As he spoke, he looked at the Blood Spirit Sky. "Bring the two of them back. Later, we'll go to the Dragon Manor and bring Long Yaoyang along. Since both sides have their own stories, we'll see who's lying when we meet Master in the Green Cloud Mountain Range." "Yes, I agree." The giant head nodded in agreement with Lu Changtian. This was the only way now. But if it were the Blood Spirit Sky, they wouldn't care so much and would just kill them directly. Why go through so much trouble? Let's go. Oh, by the way, bring that person along and follow behind me. Remember, don't think about escaping. A monk can run, but the temple can't. Don't do anything stupid." Then, he ignored Li Yanhui and rushed towards the Arch Palace. In front of the dragon residence, Lu Changtian and the others left the Arch Palace and went straight to the dragon residence. Lu Changtian lacked time the most and he didn't want to waste it. "Senior Lu, you're here." The moment Lu Changtian arrived at the dragon residence, the two guards at the entrance hurried to welcome him. They recognized Lu Changtian the last time he came and knew how powerful he was, so they didn't dare to be negligent. "Go, call Long Yaoyang out." Lu Changtian ignored the two guards and ordered. Okay. Seeing how cold Lu Changtian was, cold sweat broke out on their foreheads. They admired Lu Changtian very much. In the entire capital, other than the patriarchs of the major clans who dared to call Long Yaoyang that, only this Lu Changtian was scarier. One of them quickly entered the dragon residence and went to Long Yaoyang's room. "Patriarch, it's the senior. He asked you to go out." The man said directly. This time, it wasn't like the last time. The door opened and Long Yaoyang appeared. He looked at the guard and said, "Let's go." Then, his figure flashed quickly. He was very careful when facing Lu Changtian. He naturally didn't dare to neglect the other party's strength. Moreover, his son was under the other party's control. Long Yaoyang didn't dare to stop. In a few minutes, Long Yaoyang arrived at the entrance and saw Lu Changtian's figure. As for Xue Lingtian, he didn't hide because he had to watch over Li Yanhui and Lu Changtian. However, his body size had shrunk a lot. He looked as tall as Lu Changtian. After looking at Xue Lingtian for a while, his gaze fell on Lu Changtian. "You're here. Come with me." He didn't beat around the bush and went straight to the point. "Come with me? Where to?" Long Yaoyang looked at Lu Changtian suspiciously. However, as a person of high status, he knew how to read people's expressions. Lu Changtian didn't look very good at the moment. He knew that something bad was going to happen. Emperor Li. Suddenly, his gaze fell on the two people behind Xue Lingtian. When he saw Li Huangdao covered in blood and injuries, he subconsciously wanted to say his name. However, when he remembered that Li Huangdao was fine, he quickly changed his words. Humph. Li Huangdao glanced at Long Yaoyang's way of addressing him, then snorted coldly and ignored him. "All right, let's go." He turned and left. He didn't care if Long Yaoyang agreed or not. Anyway, with Xue Lingtian watching, he wasn't afraid that Long Yaoyang wouldn't leave. Chapter 11:22. At the entrance of Blue Cloud Mountain Range, Lu Changtian and the others finally arrived. For some unknown reason, after arriving here, Lu Changtian inexplicably felt much more at ease. He was no longer as nervous and uneasy as before. "Let's go, we're almost there." With that, Lu Changtian didn't say anything else. He took a step forward and led the way to their destination. In the depths of the Ash Cloud Mountain Range, in the cave where Lin Rei resided. What on earth is it? How can it cause my soul to be so restless in this cave? Sitting in the cave, the chaotic heavenly scripture continued to circulate as he looked at the entrance of the cave with a grave expression. During this period of time, he didn't know why, but his soul had started to become restless. At first, it was fine, but as time passed, this feeling became clearer and clearer. Especially in the past few days, this feeling had become more and more intense, so much so that he had to constantly circulate his cultivation method to restrain his soul from breaking out of his body. Could it be that there's something wrong with the 3 souls and 7 spirits? He thought of this possibility, but the moment this thought appeared, it was drowned out. That's not right. If there was a problem with the 3 souls and 7 spirits, how could I not have noticed it? What is it that's affecting it? Unable to figure it out, Zhang Xian stood up and walked out of the cavern. As the bright sunlight shone on his face, his soul began to tremble once more. At this moment, even though he was driving his cultivation technique to its limits, the feeling of his soul being drawn in couldn't be calmed down. Humph, who is it? Get out here. At this moment, Lin Rei vaguely understood that the feeling of being summoned was nearby. Otherwise, after he left the cave, the feeling of his soul breaking out of his body would not be so calm. Even the suppression of his cultivation method would not be effective. The surroundings were completely silent. Even the faint roars of beasts that were usually heard had disappeared. As the saying goes, if something is abnormal, there must be a demon. Now that he was in the Blue Cloud Mountain Range, where birds and beasts roamed, there wasn't even the sound of birds chirping. If he still couldn't sense something, then Lin Rei would be unworthy of being called a saint. The surroundings were silent. Seeing that nothing had appeared, Lin Rei frowned slightly. Then, he released his divine sense to explore the surroundings. Or not. The surrounding scenery appeared in Lin Rei's mind in 3D. There was no one around, not even a bird or beast. However, the more this was the case, the more serious Linley's heart became. His eyes vigilantly scanned his surroundings. Such a scene could only mean two things. Either there was no one around and he was overthinking things, or the thing around him had a higher cultivation level than him, so much so that he couldn't sense it. Still not coming out? The voice rang out again. Lin Rei had no other choice now. Other than this, he could not think of any other way. Time passed slowly, but the surroundings were still as quiet as before. There was not the slightest sound. Even Hui Yun's breathing was faintly discernible at this moment, as if it was being suppressed by something. Bastard! He cursed in his heart. If his cultivation was still the same as before, why would he have to be so passive? Good, very good. Since that's the case, don't blame me. As he spoke, his eyes flashed with a hint of ruthlessness. After breaking through to the gold core realm, the body would produce the true Samadhi fire. Although it was not as strong as before, it could still burn down the mountains and forests. I don't believe that you can hide for long, unless you can tear the space and hide in it. As he spoke, he mobilized the gold core and a scorching flame appeared in Lin Rei's palm. Seeing that there was still no movement in his surroundings, Linley did not hesitate any longer. With a wave of his hand, the flames in his hand shot out. Not only did the true Samadhi fire burn the surrounding trees, but it also began to wreak havoc. All of you who are on sentry duty, withdraw from the mountain forest. Linley's voice was filled with spiritual energy, and everyone within 1,000 kilometers could hear him. For these people, Lin Rei did not want anything to happen to them. Although he wanted to reveal the thing behind him, he did not want to hurt innocent lives. Moreover, these people were his subordinates. What's going on? The 30 people who were patrolling suddenly heard Lin Rei's voice. Although they had doubts in their hearts, they had to listen to such orders. Without another word, he left the sentry post and rushed out of the mountain range. Through his divine sense, he saw those people leave. Linley let out a sigh of relief. Previously, he had nothing to worry about. Oh, let the flame burn more fiercely. Now that he had nothing to worry about, Linley no longer cared. The flames once more appeared, and he tossed it high into the air, charging off into the distance. At this moment, Lin Rei was determined to lure out the thing behind him. Otherwise, if he did not solve this problem, there would always be a suitable solution. Moreover, if there was a problem with the 3 souls and 7 spirits, it would be very serious. Bastard boy, I haven't seen you for a while and you've become more and more ruthless. In the dark, a young man was on a tree. Looking at Lin Rei's scene, the young man's face showed a wry smile. Hurry up and get out. Although it's not a big deal to burn the mountain range, this is the Destiny world after all. It's not good to do something like this. An electronic synthesized voice sounded in the young man's ear. Alas, I wanted to play for a while. I didn't expect this boy. The young man wanted to say something but stopped. Finally, he nodded helplessly. Okay. In that case, let's go. After saying that, the young man no longer hid. He took a step forward and walked in the direction of Lin Rei. Huh? Linley, who had been using his divine sense to investigate this entire time, suddenly sensed a figure appear within his divine sense. However, when he saw the face of the figure clearly, he felt as though he had been struck by lightning. His body froze on the spot, a stunned look on his face. What the hell? Looking at the face of the person who had appeared, Linley felt as if 10,000 curses were running through his mind. Wasn't that the face of the person who had appeared was the same as the body of his previous body? That's not right. Why is the body here? Looking at his appearance, he seems to have been here before. What the hell is going on? His spiritual sense stared at the young man's every move. His face was full of doubts. Finally, the young man's figure appeared in Lin Rei's line of sight. Looking at him, Lin Rei could not help but ask, "Who are you? Why is your appearance? Bastard boy, did you forget about me?" Before Lin Rei could finish his words, an angry voice came from the young man's mouth. "What? You?" Lin Rei was very familiar with the young man's angry tone. Wasn't this the little dragon that he had cursed countless times in his heart? Thinking about it, he looked up at the figure in the sky and could not help but ask, Little dragon?" Until now, Lin Rei still could not believe that the little dragon was here. However, he felt the soul in his body throbbing even more. Inexplicably, Lin Rei believed that the young man in front of him was his body and the soul in his body was the little dragon. Chapter 11:23. Humph, you little bastard, you finally know who I am. Did you think you'd forgotten about me after coming here? With that, he landed on Lin Rei's body. He was fuming and looked very strange. Especially when Lin Rei looked at his own body and made such an expression, he couldn't bear to look at it directly. However, your current cultivation is too weak. I admit that my cultivation is very strong, but I can't even sense it from such a short distance. Tell me, have you been sightseeing all this time? The little dragon's words made Lin Rei speechless. What do you mean sightseeing? What do you mean by too weak? It's obvious that you put me in a place that's too remote. Take a look and feel the surrounding spiritual energy. How can this kind of existence provide for my daily cultivation? Of course, these were all thoughts in Lin Rei's heart. He didn't say it out loud. But thinking of this, the biggest doubt in his heart surged. Looking up at the little dragon, the nameless anger in Lin Rei's heart instantly filled up. Little dragon, you're really something. You didn't even discuss it with me and took the initiative to put me in this place. Tell me, how do you want to solve this matter? Don't try to brush me off with this empty promise. If you don't give me something of equivalent value, don't try to fool me. When Lin Li's words reached Xiaolong's ears, Xiaolong, who had been quite happy, suddenly felt his heart tremble. He awkwardly took a step back. I thought that after staying here for so long, your personality would have changed a bit. But it's hard to change one's nature. Chang Yi sighed and showed a pained expression. Hey, don't say so much. My nature doesn't exist. I just want to know, what exactly should you give me? I'm telling you, I won't take a fancy to anything bad. After all, I'm already at the early stage of the Dao fruit realm. You decide for yourself. The two had been together for a long time, so Lin Rei knew what the little dragon was thinking when he farted. F***ck, can't you give me some face? In any case, I used to be a powerhouse. Do you think I don't have any face when you act like this? Cut the crap and hurry up. Don't be so stingy. You're still an expert, so don't be so stingy. Lin Rei didn't fall for the little dragon's tricks at all. From Lin Rei's point of view, he should take advantage of this opportunity to ask for as much as he could. Who knew what would happen if the little dragon reneged on his debt if he did not do so now? At that time, there would be no one left to reason with. Give it to him. The electronically synthesized voice was cold and merciless. F***ck, you're too disloyal. The little dragon was stunned. He didn't expect the system to be so shameless. It was as if he was the one who banished Lin Rei to the realm of destiny. What about now? What kind of situation was this? Why was it his problem now? Stop wasting time. Return the body to Lin Rei first. You can't stay here for long. Moreover, your control over Lin Rei's body isn't perfect. Your face will leak out laws that this world can't withstand. You. Fine. He wanted to refute, but the system was right. He could make this world completely collapse with just a trace of his aura. Heeding the commands of the system, he turned to look at Linley, his face solemn. Kid, now isn't the time to be discussing this. Hurry up and return to your body. Otherwise, I'm afraid this world will explode from my power. Hurry up. After saying that, without waiting for Lin Rei's response, the little dragon's soul instantly withdrew from Lin Rei's body. Bang! A muffled sound was heard. Lin Rei's body, which was originally standing, was now lying on the ground like a living dead. Other than not opening his eyes and breathing, everything else was normal. His cheeks were rosy and glossy. He didn't look like a person without a soul at all. F***ck, are you messing with me? Looking at his body without a soul, Lin Rei's face was full of shock. What is this? You want me to come and go as you wish? Who do you think I am? Do you think I don't care about my reputation? Thinking about it, Lin Rei was very unhappy. He wouldn't listen to the little dragon. If he really did it, then, wouldn't he become a pet in the end? Therefore, he was determined not to listen to the little dragon's arrangement. Moreover, since the little dragon was here, it meant that something must have happened up there. Otherwise, why would the little dragon let him return to his body so quickly? What a joke. According to Lin Rei's expectations, it would take at least 1,000 years to summon him back. Therefore, Lin Rei wasn't in a hurry. The ones who should be in a hurry were the little dragon and the system. Thinking of this, a smile appeared on his handsome face. I say, little dragon, don't be in a hurry. We haven't discussed the conditions before. You're making me lose face. System, I know you can hear me. Tell me, what kind of compensation are you going to give me? Don't think that I'm only talking about the little dragon. You're the same. If it weren't for you, I don't believe that the little dragon has the ability to get me here. You say, right? System. In the system space, seeing Lin Rei so proud, especially that annoying smile that hadn't been seen for a long time, the little dragon couldn't help but want to rush out and give him a good beating. What should we do? Say something. Looking up at the sky, the voice sounded in the system space. This started because of you. Say something. In any case, based on my understanding of this kid, if you don't give him the item, it'll be difficult to make him submit. As he spoke, his gaze fell on Linley's annoying face, and the impulse in his heart grew even stronger. Sigh. Time is of the essence. Since this little guy wants the thing, give it to him. With that said, the voice disappeared and the system's voice sounded in Lin Rei's mind. Host, as long as you return to your main body, the system will give you 2 chances at the lottery and the 5th or 6th level of the Chaos Heavenly Sutra. How about it? Oh. Are you sure? To be honest, Lin Rei was tempted by the system's offer. He was especially tempted, especially when he heard about the 5th or 6th level of the cultivation technique. Such things were something that could only be chanced upon by luck. According to his previous speed, it would probably take a very, very long time to obtain the 2nd level of the cultivation technique. As for the 2 chances at the lottery, to put it bluntly, although Lin Rei felt that it was a pity, compared to the cultivation technique, the brilliance of the lottery was somewhat dim. Yes, I'm sure. The system's response was very straightforward, without any intention of beating around the bush. TSK, thinking about how the system had given him such a straightforward reward, Lin Rei was momentarily stunned. However, on second thought, he felt that it was nothing. After all, he had what he wanted. As for the rest, he could talk about it when he returned to his main body. Okay. Lin Rei responded. Then, without waiting for the system to speak again, the system's voice sounded again. Little dragon, don't be stingy. Now that the system has given me something so stingy, tell me. If you don't give me something good, won't you feel guilty? The little dragon was already used to Lin Rei's insatiable greed. All things return to origin, fuse. Zhang Xian's hand seals were constantly forming hand seals. The soul that was originally a physical body slowly turned into a wisp of green smoke and drilled into the body bit by bit. Bit by bit, it started with the lower half of the body, then the lower half of the body. Until a minute later, when the last bit of soul was smeared into the body that originally had no heartbeat suddenly had a heartbeat. Dong dong dong, that powerful heartbeat was like the sound of a thunder drum, shocking people's hearts. This bastard, just you wait. You'll spit out those who cheated me today sooner or later. Seeing Lin Rei return to his body, the original resentment in his heart was instantly released. Just like this, time passed bit by bit. A quarter of an hour passed. Under the gaze of the little dragon and the system, Lin Rei's eyes that were always closed opened. Phew, finally. I've finally found my body. It really wasn't easy. Feeling the powerful spiritual energy flowing in his body, Lin Rei's face was filled with a smile. Rubbing his sleepy eyes, he got up and moved his body that hadn't moved for a long time. Suddenly, there was a crackling sound that sounded like bones breaking. The sound was very deafening, and one couldn't bear to listen to it. Ah, comfortable. Looking down, he looked at his hands, looked at his body's post-celestial treasures, and felt the powerful cultivation in his body. His originally depressed heart instantly disappeared. Boom! Suddenly, a blood-colored flame rushed out of his palm and floated in the air. It looked very beautiful. Illusory spirit blood fire, long time no see. Looking down at the illusory spirit blood fire in his hand, that familiar feeling made his heart feel warm and safe. Phew, exhaling a long breath, his face relaxed. Now that my body has returned, it's time to deal with my matter. Looking up, Lin Rei's divine sense instantly covered the entire Blue Cloud Mountain range. In Lin Rei's mind, Lu Changtian led the people from the blood spirit sky over here. However, looks like I'll have to deal with the one in front of me first. Thinking about it, he communicated with the little dragon. Remove the defensive barrier. Can you control your own power? If you can't, then this energy barrier must never be removed. You also know that this isn't the divine world. This divine world can't block the slightest bit of your saint's spiritual chi. The little dragon reminded him. Hurry up. If I can't control my own power, I'm afraid I'll really be crippled. Rolling his eyes at the little dragon, he said impatiently. If that's the case, then, all right. Seeing Lin Rei's confident look, the little dragon didn't hesitate. After all, Lin Rei wouldn't lie about this matter. In response, he waved his hand, and the energy shield that was originally surrounding him instantly disappeared. Feeling the energy disappear, his gaze fell on the samadhi true fire around him. Frowning slightly, he raised his hand and the illusory spirit blood fire rushed out. Go, absorb the flames here. Remember, it can't be just a little bit of samadhi true fire. Whoosh! As soon as Lin Rei finished speaking, the illusory spirit blood fire seemed to have heard Lin Rei's command and rushed into the forest. Wherever the illusory spirit blood fire passed, the samadhi true fire disappeared in an instant, leaving behind only ashes. Raising his hand, he pointed in the direction of Lu Changtian. Suddenly, a terrifying suction force appeared. Come here. In the distance, Lu Changtian, who was originally rushing, suddenly felt a terrifying energy confining them. In the next moment, their bodies were uncontrollably pulled into the depths of the Blue Cloud Mountain range. What's going on? When such a strange thing happened, Lu Changtian was shocked. He turned his head to look at the blood spirit sky, wanting to seek an answer. Don't look at me. How would I know? As if understanding Lu Changtian's meaning, he roared twice. F***ck, in response to the blood spirit sky's response, Lu Changtian felt as if a crow had flown over his head. The situation was very awkward. He forgot that he didn't understand the language of the blood spirit sky. However, just as the two of them were looking at each other in confusion, a group of people naturally appeared in front of Lin Rei. F***ck, brat, what are you doing? Didn't you say not to release your cultivation? Don't you know that your cultivation will cause this world to collapse? The little dragon said angrily. Heh, what's there to be surprised about? When I released my cultivation just now, I had already set up an isolation formation. It's fine. Chapter 11:25. Bastard. The little dragon mumbled and shut his mouth. As for the matter of heading to the holy world, he didn't mention it now. Anyway, it wasn't urgent and he understood that Lin Rei still had things to deal with. Looking at the group of people, Lin Rei withdrew his Holy Spirit power and placed the two people on the ground. Looking at the people Lu Changtian brought, he had seen Emperor Li before. As for Long Yaoyang and Li Yanhui, he had never seen them before. Little Tian, I asked you to deal with it. Why did you bring them back? Lin Rei asked. You are? Lu Changtian, who was in a state of shock, heard Lin Rei's words and turned to look at Lin Rei. The moment he saw Lin Rei, Lu Changtian was stunned. He stood there in a daze and his face was full of doubts. He didn't know who this person was, but, when he glanced at Lin Rei, his gaze fell on the young man lying on the ground behind Lin Rei. You. What did you do to my master? That's right, the young man lying behind Lin Rei was Lin Rei from the Destiny Realm. However, he was only in his physical body now. What? Lu Changtian's words caught Xue Lingtian's attention. He looked in the direction Lu Changtian pointed and saw the body lying on the ground. His expression changed abruptly and he looked at Lin Rei with murderous eyes. Although he was unhappy with Lin Rei, they had become friends during this period of time. More importantly, Lin Rei said that he could help him revive the blood flood dragon race. Now that Lin Rei was dead, what about his promise? Who could he look for? Do you know what crime you have committed? Do you think you can leave after killing my people? Xue Lingtian looked at Lin Rei and said. Damn, this guy. When did I become his subordinate? Why didn't I know about it? Looking at the blood spirit sky, Lin Rei frowned slightly. He then said, Little thing, who do you think I am? What do you think I am? Your man? You're clearly my subordinate. Lin Rei understood that this matter was very hard to believe. Thinking about it, he casually pointed at the body behind him, and a suction force suddenly appeared. Whoa! The dragon's roar shook the heavens, and the 9 dragons roared in unison. That scene and sound was something that they would never forget in their lifetime. The Chaos Dragon Spear was pulled out of the body by Linley's suction force and landed in Linley's hand. Whoa! The dragon's shadow appeared again. What was different was that when the dragon's roar appeared, 9 enormous creatures rushed out of the Chaos Dragon Spear. They roamed the 9 heavens and finally floated above Lin Rei's head. Greetings, Master. This scene could be said to be shocking to everyone present, especially the blood dragon blood spirit sky. He naturally understood what this meant. This treasure couldn't change owners, especially such a divine weapon. He had his pride. Thinking about it, wasn't the person in front of him talking about Lin Rei himself? As soon as this thought came to his mind, he looked at Lin Rei with a different gaze. Why you are Lin Rei? Nonsense. Then who is he? Lin Rei knew what the blood spirit sky was referring to. He is the physical body in the Destiny world, and this physical body is my true body. A physical body in the Saint realm. As he said that, his expression was filled with arrogance, as if he was looking down on the world. Saint, you. Although Blood Spirit Sky had sensed that aura before, he was still somewhat shocked when it really appeared. After all, this matter was too shocking. Alright, I promised you that I would help you revive the Blood Dragon clan. Of course, I will keep my word. I, Lin Rei, will naturally keep my word. After saying that, his gaze fell on Lu Changtian. During this period of time, Master will leave here and go to a place with abundant spiritual qi. If you have someone you want to say goodbye to, go quickly. Otherwise, it's hard to say if you will be able to come back in the future. Lin Rei didn't care whether Lu Changtian believed it or not. In any case, now that his body had been changed back, he didn't need to use the physical body behind him anymore. Thinking about it, he stretched out his hand and a ball of illusory spirit blood fire appeared. With a shake of his hand, the illusory spirit blood fire seemed to transform into a blood-colored spirit and fell on the body. Boom! Suddenly, the illusory spirit blood fire soared. In just an instant, the originally soaring flames quickly disappeared. In the end, it turned into a corpse that was burned by the flames. In the end, not even ashes were left behind. The appearance of this scene caused Lu Changtian's mood to surge like a river, and it was difficult for him to calm down. In the end, Lu Changtian questioned, "You? Are you really master?" However, after hearing Lu Changtian's question, Lin Rei's eyes flashed with disappointment. "Don't ask about this matter after this. This sovereign is your master, Lin Rei. This sovereign has just returned to his original body. Also, what's the matter with the three of them?" His gaze fell on the few people behind him and couldn't help but feel puzzled. He knew Emperor Li, but he didn't know the other two. Moreover, he remembered that he wanted Lu Changtian to kill people. Why the hell did he bring people back? Did he want to bring people back for him to kill? Although he still had some doubts about Lin Rei, the matter of Li Yanhui and the others replaced them. Thinking about this matter, Lu Changtian opened his mouth and told Lin Rei everything that Li Yanhui said before. At the side, Long Yaoyang's expression changed several times. In the end, there was only fear in his eyes. What's going on? Didn't they say that the entire empire only had one martial god, that old thing? Why is there another founder's daughter? Looking at Li Yanhui, Long Yaoyang's heart was filled with hatred. He originally thought that he could use this matter to eradicate the empire, but now, it seemed like... From the side, Lin Li had been observing the expressions of the three people. Seeing Long Yaoyang's changing expression, he understood the whole story. He also understood who was the one who was lying. Looking at Li Yanhui, Lin Rei didn't have much of a good feeling. If his original body hadn't come, perhaps he would have. But now, there was only disdain. Looking at Long Yaoyang, Lin Rei said, "Long Yaoyang, do you know what this sovereign hates the most?" What? There are two types of people that this sovereign hates the most. The first type is those who betray me. The second type is those who deceive me like you. He looked at Lu Changtian and said coldly, "I'll leave it to you to handle this matter. As for how to deal with it, it's up to you. I won't interfere." As he spoke, he didn't even wait for Lu Changtian's retort. He turned around and walked towards Shandong. Just now, he had noticed that his actions were all in his mother's sight, especially when he burned that body. Lu Changtian frowned when he heard Lin Rei's words. He didn't know what to do with Long Yaoyang. Long Ming had asked him to take care of the Long family. Now that the Long family was in trouble, what should he do? Chapter 1126. You saw it all? Huiyun's cave. As soon as he entered the cave, he saw Huiyun standing at the entrance. She was looking outside in a daze. Her expression was filled with disbelief and shock. Hearing Linley's voice, Firecloud regained his composure. He looked at Linley with a complex look in his eyes. He wanted to ask, but he was also afraid to ask. He had clearly seen the scene just now. His son's body had been incinerated. That scene was something he would never forget for the rest of his life. I am Lin Rei, your son. The person outside who was burned to ashes by me is also Lin Rei. Our souls are the same person. It's just that our bodies are different. In order to make his mother accept it, Lin Rei told her the whole story. Of course, when he mentioned the system, Lin Rei skipped it. After all, the system was too unimaginable. It wasn't because he didn't trust Huiyun, but because he was afraid that Huiyun would find out and bring him unnecessary trouble. Just like that, from the battle with the demonic beasts in the divine world to landing in the destiny world, he told her the whole story. That's how it is. I am the strongest and most sacred person in the divine world. I am also the sect master of the Xuanzong sect and the person in charge of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. In the divine world, my strength is already at the top. Moreover, before I landed here, I broke through to the Sage Realm. I can enter the Holy World at any time. I just don't know why I came here. Looking at Huiyun, looking at his mother, Lin Rei's expression was full of tenderness. But I don't regret coming here. I have a beautiful, and generous mother like you. I am very satisfied. PFFF, Huiyun, who was originally wearing a serious expression, heard Lin Rei's unexpected flattery. She suddenly burst out laughing. The worry and shock on her face disappeared and was replaced by tenderness. You child, how old am I? I'm still pretty. Although she said that, she was very happy in her heart. How could that be? Mother is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. As he spoke, Lin Rei saw the smile on Huiyun's face. He knew that the previous matter was over. With such thoughts in mind, the smile on Zhang Xian's face disappeared, replaced by a solemn look. Mom, look. Now that your son has recovered his strength, it's only natural for him to return to the firmament and enter the holy world. Now that I'm leaving, I'm worried about all of you. Why don't you, grandfather, and the others follow me to the deity world? In the divine world, even if you don't cultivate, the lifespan of an ordinary person is 400 to 500 years, let alone cultivating. As long as you cultivate, you can become a top existence in this world at any time. When the time comes, I'll live as long as the heavens and the earth. Although it's a little exaggerated, it's not too far off. In the darkness, looking at his father who was being tortured to the point of not being able to recognize him, Lin Rei was unable to contain the killing intent in his heart. After letting out a long breath, he calmed his murderous heart. He took a step forward and arrived beside his father. Extending his hand, he removed all of the shackles on his body. Clang, clang, clang. The man who was unconscious slowly opened his extremely tired eyelids. I already said that I don't know. Even if you all kill me, I also don't know about the Lin family's treasure that you all spoke of. The man's voice sounded. Lin Rei felt relieved. Since he was still able to speak, it meant that he was fine. If it was before he returned to his original body, perhaps this kind of injury would be very troublesome for him. However, to the current Lin Rei, it was a piece of cake. Looking at the man, Lin Rei opened his mouth. However, his voice was filled with sobs. Father, Rei. Rei is here to bring you home. Hearing those words, a trace of light flashed through the man's eyes. He raised his head and looked at Lin Rei. Following that, a trace of self-ridicule flashed through his eyes. Heh, not bad. This time around, you've changed your tactics. You even dare to impersonate my son. Too shameless. Hearing his father's words, Lin Rei felt somewhat helpless. Although he didn't know what treasure it was, Lin Rei was very disdainful of it. Treasures were nothing to him. Dad, I am really your son, Lin Rei. This time, I have specially come to bring you home. If you don't believe me, you'll believe me when you see Mom later. Chapter 11:27. Although Lin Rei desperately wanted to prove that he was his son, in the end, the man still didn't believe him. After all, he knew that he hadn't been away for long. Even if his son was a genius, it was impossible for him to cultivate to the point where he could rush into the sect that had been passed down for thousands of years in just a few years. Forget it, let's deal with them first. Since they dared to do this to you, they must bear my wrath. Seeing the look of disbelief in Lin Feng's eyes, Lin Rei no longer hesitated. Since he didn't believe him, he had no choice but to believe him when the facts were placed in front of his eyes. With that thought, he ignored Lin Feng's thoughts and stretched out his hand. Spiritual energy emerged and wrapped around Lin Feng. Then, he dragged him behind him and waved his hand in front of him. A black hole appeared. What kind of power is this? Behind him, Lin Rei's face was full of shock when he saw this method. He had never heard of this method before. Even the sect master of the Fengyun sect didn't have this kind of method. Lin Rei didn't know what Lin Feng was thinking. At this moment, Lin Rei's heart was filled with anger. The only thing he wanted to do now was to rush out and raze the Fengyun sect to the ground. This time, he came to warn all the living beings in the destiny realm that he, Lin Rei, could not touch his people. If they moved, they would die. Under Lin Feng's shocked gaze, Lin Rei took a step forward and brought Lin Feng into the black hole. A crack appeared above the Fengyun sect. Lin Rei and Lin Feng, who had disappeared in the dungeon, walked out of the crack. They stood in the air and looked down at the Fengyun sect below. People of the Fengyun sect, you imprisoned my father, Lin Feng. Today is your doomsday. The voice was mixed with spiritual energy. It was so loud that it spread to the ears of everyone in the Fengyun sect for a long time. In the best hall of the Fengyun sect, the sect master of the Fengyun sect, Feng Ji, was sitting in the hall and meditating. Suddenly, a voice exploded in his ears like a sudden clap of thunder, pulling him back to reality from his meditation. Who dares to clamor in my Fengyun sect? Do you want to die? With a gloomy expression, he snorted coldly in the direction where the voice came from. Then, his figure flashed, turning into a streak of light and disappearing from the spot. When he saw Feng Ji again, he was outside the hall. Feng Ji appeared outside the hall and looked up into the sky. He saw Lin Rei and Lin Feng behind him. Lin Feng? He knew about Lin Feng. He was a descendant of the Lin family. Previously, he had captured him and placed him in the dungeon. But now, he was here. Looking at Lin Feng, Feng Ji's expression became more and more gloomy. Now that Lin Feng had appeared, didn't that mean that the young man could come and go freely in his Fengyun sect without being discovered by others? Moreover, he could stand in the air. This strength appeared on a young man, which was enough to make him pay attention. He had such a cultivation at such a young age. Then, after he got up, how powerful would his cultivation be? As the sect master, Feng Ji had to consider the overall situation. After all, if he made the slightest mistake, his entire Fengyun sect would be in trouble. Thinking of this, Feng Ji's expression eased a little. Then, he stepped out and soared into the sky. Finally, he came in front of Lin Rei and stood side by side with him. Fellow Taoist, it's not very good for you to come and go freely in my territory. As he spoke, he looked at Lin Feng. The meaning of his words was very obvious. Ha! Lin Rei only felt that Feng Zhi's words were very funny. His face was full of disdain. Did you discuss with me before you captured my father and brought him to the Fengyun sect? I'm saying that your Fengyun sect is nothing in my eyes. This time, I'm not only going to bring my father along, but I'm also going to calculate the corresponding price for the injuries you've inflicted on my father's body and soul over the years. I've already said before that the entire Fengyun sect, regardless of whether you participated or not, since your Fengyun sect captured my father, your entire sect will have to bear my wrath, without exception. As he spoke, he glanced at his father, Lin Feng, who was behind him. Dad, look at your son and I'll vent your anger for you. As he spoke, he didn't wait for Lin Feng to react. He raised his hand and slapped the air in front of him. Suddenly, a palm condensed from spiritual energy rushed out. Feng Zhi's expression darkened at Lin Rei's willfulness. He understood that since the other party had taken action, it meant that this matter had reached a point of no return. Moreover, kidnapping the father of someone who seemed to be a martial god was a great humiliation to the martial god. This kind of thing was absolutely not allowed to happen. If this happened to him, Feng Zhi, he would probably be even crazier. Seeing that the palm was getting closer and closer to him, Feng Zhi subconsciously wanted to dodge. However, in the next moment, Feng Zhi's body seemed to be fixed. He was so angry that he couldn't move. What? What's going on? My body. Feng Zhi's expression suddenly changed. His expression was extremely ugly. Seeing that the palm was about to hit him, his body couldn't move. Don't waste your energy. In front of this sovereign, not to mention you, even if it was the entire Destiny realm, this sovereign could shatter it with a single slap. Moreover, you are just a mere martial god in the initial stage. Lin Rei's words were arrogant in Feng Zhi's eyes. In Lin Feng's eyes, they were arrogant. However, those who truly knew Lin Rei didn't think so. Saints, when they reached the highest realm, were existences that could open up a world by themselves. Casually shattering this kind of low-level realm was as simple as eating a meal. Brat, you dare, Feng Zhi panicked. He didn't believe Lin Rei's words. However, when he felt the dangerous aura from that palm, he understood that if he was hit, even if he didn't die, he would be crippled. Idiot. Lin Rei didn't bother with Feng Zhi anymore. In his heart, Feng Zhi was already a dead man. He turned around and looked down at the Fengyun sect. With a thought, the scarlet flame tiger instantly appeared in front of Lin Rei. Right now, the scarlet flame tiger that appeared was a miniature version. If the scarlet flame tiger were to release its entire body, it might cause this world to explode. Go. Kill everyone from that sect down there. Don't leave a single one alive. After that, come and look for me. You're talking to him? Behind him, Lin Feng, who had been paying attention to Lin Rei, looked at this Lin Rei who kept saying that he was his son was actually talking to a tiger. This caused Lin Feng's brain to be unable to process what was going on. However, at the next moment, under Lin Feng's astonished gaze, the scarlet flame tiger spoke in human language. Brother Lei, it's been so many years since we last met. You're still the same. Why aren't you comforting me? Hearing the scarlet flame tiger's usual words, Lin Rei's parents had a helpless expression on their faces. All right, hurry up and do it. When we return to the divine realm, I will tell you everything that happened during this period of time. After saying that, he didn't wait for the scarlet flame tiger to speak again and turned to Lin Feng with a smile. Dad, let's go home. When we meet Mom, you will know that I am really your son. Lin Feng, who was in shock, still couldn't believe that this was really his precious son. It wasn't that he didn't want to believe it, but the current Lin Rei was too strong. He was so strong that he exceeded his looks. Chapter 1128. I'll leave it to you. Lin Feng didn't respond. Lin Ray didn't think too much about it and warned the Scarlet Flame Tiger. Then, he tore open space and left the Fengyun sect's territory. Looking at Lin Ray's disappearing figure, the Scarlet Flame Tiger grumbled. Then, it returned to its usual coldness. Sigh, Brother Lei is really heartless. It turned around and looked at Feng Ji, who was already dead. Its expression was full of disdain. It was as if Feng Ji wasn't even qualified to be its meal. I don't know what Brother Lei is thinking. He came to such a low-level plane and even attacked an ant. The moment it came out, the Scarlet Flame Tiger knew that this wasn't the realm of the gods. It was the smallest and barren plane in the Great Thousand World. Its eyes were full of confusion. However, it never disobeyed Lin Ray's orders. It looked down at the Fengyun sect. At this moment, because of Lin Ray's voice, everyone in the Fengyun sect, whether they were in closed-door cultivation or not, came out of their caves to investigate the situation. Forget it, I don't want to think about it. Let's end this quickly. I haven't seen Brother Lei for a long time. This time, I have to stay longer. Thinking of Lin Ray, the Scarlet Flame Tiger couldn't be bothered to wait any longer. It lifted its leg and lightly stepped down. Boom, a piercing sound rang in the ears of the Fengyun sect. Some of the higher-ups with higher cultivation felt the piercing sound. Their expressions changed abruptly. They looked up and saw that the sky had darkened. Something that looked like the leg of a demonic beast was descending from the sky. Damn, what is that? Looking at the huge object that suddenly appeared in the sky, someone spoke. This power. One of the more attentive ones sensed this powerful qi. He understood that if this qi landed on his sect, his entire sect would be destroyed. If that wasn't the case, everyone in his sect would be annihilated. Not good. Elders, quickly organize the disciples and leave. This is going to destroy our Fengyun sect. Suddenly, an elder spoke to the people around him. What? Everyone was shocked. Although they didn't understand why, the thing that descended from the sky was too powerful. It was so powerful that they didn't have the slightest thought of resisting. Quick, with that, the old men dashed towards their respective cave residences. As for the others, after the old men left, they naturally reacted and left one by one to prepare. As for the ordinary disciples of the Fengyun sect, how could they possibly move at this moment? Just the aura of the Scarlet Tiger alone was enough to suppress their bodies to the point that they could no longer control their bodies. How could they even think of running away? This day was destined to be the day of the Fengyun sect's destruction, as well as a warning to the entire Destiny realm. In the depths of the Green Cloud Mountain Range. In Huiyun's cave residence, Lin Ray left. Huiyun stood there in a daze. Her mind was still filled with the words that Lin Ray had said before he left. He had said that he was going to bring her father home. Can you really bring it back? After all these years of waiting, Huiyun had hoped time and time again, only to be met with despair time and time again. In this repeated cycle, she was in complete despair. Whoosh! In the quiet cave residence, a strange sound suddenly rang out. Huiyun, who had sunk into silence, heard this strange sound and snapped back to reality. She turned around to look. When she turned around and saw the strange sound, Huiyun was completely stunned. Her face was filled with disbelief as tears began to well up in her eyes. Yun. A questioning voice rang out in the cave residence. How is it? I told you before that I really am your son, Lin Ray, but you didn't believe me. Now that you've seen your mother, you should believe me, right? Seeing his father and mother's actions, Lin Ray couldn't help but laugh. The Cangyun mountain range wasn't very far from the Fengyun sect. Lin Ray could reach it in just a few breaths. Even if it was the land of the two extremes, as long as Lin Rei wanted to, he could reach it in just a breath. You're really Yun-er. My Yun-er? At this moment, it was as if only the two of them were left in the entire world. Lin Feng acted as if he hadn't heard Lin Rei's words. He stared at Hui Yun and confirmed it again with a trembling voice. When he had been locked up in the dungeon, there hadn't been a moment when he hadn't thought of reuniting with his wife, Hui Yun. Unfortunately, those dark days had completely cut off that thought. In his opinion, that kind of thinking was simply unrealistic. How could he possibly reunite with his wife in that kind of situation? Even if he had been lucky enough to survive, he wouldn't have been able to leave the dungeon. In the end, he would have died in the dungeon. But now, the wife that he had missed day and night had appeared in front of him. However, he didn't dare to believe it. Happiness had come too suddenly. It was so sudden that it felt a little unreal. Especially his wife's face. After more than 10 years, her hair might not have turned white, but there wasn't even a single wrinkle on her face. She looked just like when they had first met when they were young. It was also because of this that he didn't dare to acknowledge her. However, Hui Yun didn't think so. Originally, it was a joyous occasion for husband and wife to reunite. However, her husband's repeated doubts and confirmations caused Hui Yun's fiery temper to surge. I say, do you want to die? If I'm not your wife, who else is? Or have you been seeing someone else outside during this period of time? The tone of the conversation suddenly changed. There was no longer any sense of reunion after a long separation. She stepped forward and pinched Lin Feng's ear. She looked at him as if he wanted to die. This. Mother, is this really all right? Looking at his mother's appearance, Lin Rei felt a chill in his heart. Although he knew that his mother had this side of her, he hadn't seen it for a long time. Looking at Lin Feng's gaze, Lin Rei was full of sympathy. He admired his father's fearless spirit. He didn't know how the two of them got along so well. However, a scene that made Lin Rei's jaw drop even more happened. Lin Feng, who was originally full of doubts, had his ear pinched. After being reprimanded by Hui Yun, he didn't laugh. Instead, he laughed. Ha ha ha. Yes, this is the feeling. You are indeed my Yun-er. Lin Feng's current appearance was a living masochist. He really couldn't believe his father's way of reuniting with her. TSK, TSK, TSK. That's too rough. I'm afraid this method is the only one since ancient times. His face was full of smiles. If Ing were here to see the smile on Lin Rei's face, she would definitely be very happy. You old fart. We haven't seen each other for a few years and you're already questioning me. As she said that, she increased the strength of her hand. I say, Yun-er, can you be a little gentler? Also, our son is at the side. Can you give him some face? Lin Feng smiled bitterly. At this moment, he believed that the person who was there before was his son, Lin Rei. Mother, father didn't want to believe that I was his son. Damn, son, how can you cheat your father like this? Lin Feng was dumbfounded. This motherf asterisk Ker's strength was too much. Chapter 1129. What? Seeing the sad expression on her son's face, Hui Yun didn't want to think too much. She turned her head and looked at her husband. That pair of murderous eyes made Lin Feng's hair stand on end. I say, Lin Feng, you're really something. How many years has it been since we last met? What, you don't even recognize your son? Oh, then according to what you mean, this son isn't yours. I thought for a while, but in the end, I didn't say anything. That look of hers made Lin Rei very happy. Mom, I'll go out first. Lin Rei understood that the two probably had a lot to say. Lin Rei didn't disturb them and tactfully chose to leave. Okay, you go. Hui Yun nodded in agreement. I say, don't go, let's talk for a while. When Lin Rei left, Lin Feng didn't want to. Now that Lin Rei left, who knew what would happen next? Before, when Lin Rei was here, his safety was guaranteed. Forget it, I'll go out and take care of some things. After that, we'll leave this place. Saying that, without waiting for the two to speak, he turned and left the cave. When Lin Rei left, Hui Yun's man-eating eyes appeared. Then, she reached out her hand and hammered Lin Feng's chest. Tears flowed down her eyes uncontrollably. She was indescribably sad. However, this kind of sadness and Hui Yun's appearance could be described as a beauty crying. You old bastard, you didn't come back for so many years. We all thought that you died in that war, you. In the next moment, Hui Yun's complaining voice came from the cave. At the entrance of the cave, hearing the voice coming from the cave behind him, a smile appeared on Lin Rei's face. In the end, she's still a woman. I wonder how the two of them are doing. Suddenly, the two figures appeared in Lin Rei's mind. After being away for so long, Lin Rei was really worried about the two of them. The more he thought about it, the more anxious he was to return to the God realm. Lin Rei's family was complete, but the entire Guanyin Empire, and even the entire Destiny realm, had undergone an unprecedented change. After Lin Rei left, the Scarlet Flame Tiger slaughtered the entire Fengyun sect with a single kick. Even the animals of the Fengyun sect were all killed. This incident was too bizarre. The Fengyun sect was one of the few major sects in the Destiny realm. The spies of the other empires and sects naturally wouldn't let go of this news. The moment this matter was discovered, the news of the Fengyun sect's destruction reached the ears of the empires and other sections. To be able to annihilate the Fengyun sect, that person's cultivation could be said to be very powerful. Therefore, after the various sects and empires received the news, they began to secretly investigate. Lin Rei was completely unaware of this. After leaving the cave, Lin Rei found Lu Changtian. At this moment, Long Yaoyang had disappeared. As for Li Huangdao and Lu Changtian, they were nowhere to be seen. The reason Lu Changtian gave was to let them all go. As for the reason, it was Long Ming. Originally, this matter was because of Long Yaoyang, but he had promised Long Ming to take care of the Long family, so he let Long Yaoyang go. Lin Rei didn't say anything about Lu Changtian's actions. In any case, he wouldn't be able to stay in this place for long. After waiting for a day or two, he would take his family and leave for the Divine Realm. At that time, he would let them go. After the Scarlet Tiger destroyed the Fengyun sect, it returned to Lin Rei's side. Xuejiao's eyes were filled with vigilance at the Scarlet Tiger's appearance. He could feel the danger from the Scarlet Tiger. In his eyes, the Scarlet Tiger was like a big furnace, and he was a small piece of iron in the furnace. He was in danger of melting at any time. Of course, the Scarlet Tiger noticed Xuejiao, but it didn't have the slightest interest in Xuejiao. In the Scarlet Tiger's eyes, Xuejiao was just an ant that wasn't worthy of its attention. After returning to Lin Rei's side, Lin Rei didn't take it back. Instead, he let it stay outside. After all, Lin Rei was a little distressed that it hadn't come out for a long time. Thinking about it, the Scarlet Tiger could be said to be loyal and devoted. It had been 1,000 years since he subdued the Scarlet Tiger when it was a teenager. Along the way, the Scarlet Tiger could be said to be very useful. One day passed just like that. Many things happened on this day. Lin Rei returned to his body, and Lin Feng was found. Everything was perfectly resolved after his return. At night, Lin Feng and Hui Yun finally finished talking about the things that had been hidden in their hearts for many years. As for Lin Rei's matters, Huiyun naturally told Lin Feng everything in full detail. Regarding Lin Rei's changes, Lin Feng only had one thought in his heart. Lin Rei was his child. No matter how much he changed, it was the same. Regarding this, Lin Rei's heart was filled with warmth. However, he was also very speechless towards his unconventional father. He said something about not seeing each other for many years and insisted that Lin Rei make more food for him to show his filial piety. Huiyun wanted to stop this, but Lin Rei readily agreed. For such a small matter, not to mention Lin Feng, Lin Rei would do it. In the entire world, as long as Lin Feng wanted it, he would do it. Even if he wanted to become the master of the Heaven's Fate world, Lin Rei wouldn't hesitate to enslave all the creatures in the Heaven's Fate world and give them to him. In front of the bonfire, Lin Rei and his family sat next to it. The Scarlet Tiger naturally couldn't leave Lin Rei. However, at this moment, the Scarlet Tiger's appearance was very small. It was a living beauty killer. Lu Changtian also didn't leave. As for the others, they also stood guard in the surroundings, not daring to come close. He stretched out his hand and took out a dagger. After drawing a few strokes on his hand and adding various spices, he placed the meat on the bonfire again. Suddenly, a fragrant aroma filled the air. The result was that when everyone smelled this sound, they couldn't help but swallow their laughter. I didn't expect my son to be so good at cooking. Looks like we are going to be blessed in the future. Yeah, I didn't expect it either. Huiyun was very shocked by Lin Rei's barbecue. She didn't expect her son's barbecue to be so mouth-watering before his cultivation reached the heavens. Of course. While Huiyun and Lu Changtian were shocked, the Scarlet Tiger couldn't help but say, "Brother Lei's cooking is very good. Not only the barbecue, everything he makes is delicious. In this world, only Brother Lei's food is the most delicious thing in the world." Yes, yes, yes. Little Tiger is right. Huiyun was already shocked that the Scarlet Tiger could talk. Although its original form was a little scary, Huiyun couldn't wait to like its current appearance. Time passed little by little. The barbecue was finally done. After distributing it to Huiyun and the others, they began to eat. Wow, it smells so good. Yes, it smells so good. Looks like Rei will have to take care of cooking in the future. Looking at his parents, Lin Rei was speechless. However, he didn't refute. "Mother, I'm leaving. Are you and father leaving with me or staying here?" Chapter 11:30. In the cave, Huiyun and her husband were lying on the bed. Huiyun was snuggling up to her husband, but her mind was filled with the words Lin Rei said. "I'm leaving. Do you want to come with me or stay here?" This sentence was like a demon's voice lingering in Huiyun's mind. It was as if it was engraved in her mind. She had never thought about this question. It could even be said that she had never thought that her son would leave this domain before. What's wrong? Noticing the strangeness of his wife, Lin Feng looked down at his wife in his arms. "Are you still worried about what Rei said just now?" In fact, there was no need to ask to know the whole story of this matter. He was also hesitating, but it was not as obvious as Huiyun. Sigh. Looking up at her husband, Huiyun's face was full of embarrassment and hesitation. "Aren't you worried? Leave this domain. This is our home. If we leave just like this, isn't it what?" Lin Feng asked. "If you marry, you follow your husband. If your husband dies, you follow his son. We cannot be separated from Lei for the rest of our lives. Besides, your husband has not been able to see Lei's growth all these years. My heart is filled with regret." "Leave?" Lin Feng decided. Huiyun also had an answer in her heart. However, to be honest, it was normal for her to be reluctant to leave the destiny domain so soon. After all her relatives and friends were here. Yes, leave. Leave with Ray. With that, he patted his wife's back and continued, okay, go to sleep. Since you've decided, then let's do it. With that, Lin Feng closed his eyes and fell asleep. For so many years, Lin Feng could be said to have not slept well. Now that he was safe, his tense heart was completely relaxed. He also no longer had the fear from before. In just an instant, Lin Feng fell asleep. In response, Hui Yun, who was lying on Lin Feng's body, looked at her sleeping husband with a trace of heartache on her face. She casually closed her eyes and fell asleep. In another cave, Lin Ray did not sleep. To be honest, he was a little worried. He was worried that his parents did not want to leave. If that was the case, what choice would he have? He had to think about this problem carefully. After all, he did not want his family to stay in this barren place. In this place, even if they cultivated to the sense realm, they would not be able to escape the passage of time and eventually turn into a pile of yellow soil. Linley wouldn't allow this to happen, nor would he allow it to happen. Sigh. You have too many worries. This is not a good thing for your future cultivation. Just as Lin Ray was deep in thought, the little dragon's voice sounded. I know what you want to say. He had long been tired of listening to the little dragon's speech. After that, it would just say that the Tendo was ruthless, and cultivation was even more ruthless. There should be a path of ruthlessness, and there should be feelings after cooling down. Ah, you brat. Looking at Lin Ray, the little dragon was very helpless. He really could not do anything to Lin Ray. I hope they choose to leave with me. Lin Ray did not think about it anymore. The more he thought about it, the more frustrated he felt. By the way, why did you come this time? Don't tell me you suddenly missed me, so you came to find me. You're right. The little dragon did not intend to hide it. Very good things have happened in the Holy Realm during this period, so the system has decided to let you enter the Holy Realm in advance and then explore. You might be able to find an opportunity to break through in the chaos this time. Holy Realm? Chaos? The Holy Realm was a place he had yearned for a long time. Now that he heard the word chaos, he frowned slightly and said in a deep voice, "What's going on? Aren't you in the God Realm? How do you know about the chaos in the Holy Realm? Also, what happened in the Holy Realm that made you come from so far away to find me and let me end the trial in advance?" At this moment, Lin Ray had a bad premonition. Although the little dragon's face did not have any expression, Lin Ray could feel that the matter this time was very serious. Sure enough, the little dragon's next words made Lin Ray completely speechless. A young all-heaven's dusk has appeared in the Holy Realm. If you can obtain it, it will be of great help to you in the future, so I came. You also know that there are many powerhouses in the Holy Realm. I hope that you can obtain the all-heaven's dusk and improve your cultivation in this trial, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Moreover, you still have to make a name for yourself in the Holy Realm. This will be of great help to the Xuanzong Sect and they enter the Holy Realm. All Heaven's Dusk? Trial? Looking up at the little dragon, Lin Ray had the urge to strangle him to death. He did not know what the All Heaven's Dusk was, but since it could cause everyone in the Holy Realm to fight over it, this thing would definitely not be seen. As for the trial, it was even more nonsense. With his current realm, not to mention the trial, it would be good enough if he could survive in the Holy Realm. Why, are you scared? Seeing that Lin Ray was not frowning, the little dragon teased. You have to understand that the All Heaven's Dusk is very powerful. It can be said that its existence is not weaker than the Blood Dragon at all. It's even stronger than the Blood Dragon's bloodline. You. Waiting for the little dragon, Lin Ray's urge to strangle him to death became even stronger. Although Lin Rei understood the little dragon understood Lin Rei even more. He knew that Lin Rei liked good things. Of course, it was even better to reap without sowing. But, such a thing would not happen to him. So, are you going to do it or not? You only have one chance. If the all-heavens dusk is subdued by others, then your mother's pilgrimage of 10,000 sects will not be completed. SSS, let me think, if the pilgrimage of 10,000 sects is not completed, then the final result is to be obliterated. If that's the case, then your family will be in deep trouble. Think about the people you've offended. If they know that you're dead, even if your son has entered the ultimate god realm, do you think he'll be able to intimidate those ants who kill without blinking an eye? F***ck, you're shameless. The way he looked at the little dragon changed again and again. Although on the surface, the little dragon was explaining its relationship with Lin Rei, in reality, it was clearly a kidnapping, a threat. It's up to you whether you want to go or not. Anyway, this is something you should decide. I'm not in a hurry. Anyway, I can't leave. At most, I'll spend some time looking for the next Hongmeng sovereign physique. He hurriedly said and walked to the side as if he did not care. F***cku. The little dragon was comfortable at the moment, but he was not. Thinking about the little dragon's words, he felt helpless. It had to be said that Lin Rei was successfully tricked by the little dragon to board the pirate ship. Now, it was impossible for him to get off. You old thing, you're always like this. Can't you come up with a new trick? As he spoke, a bottle of wine appeared in his hand. He opened the bottle cap and drank a mouthful of wine. I'll do as you say. After I settle my parents down, I'll go to the holy world and fight for supremacy. Chapter 1131. Not bad. Those I know have come back. The little dragon's figure instantly disappeared and returned to the system. F***ck, you have the nerve to say that. When was it not forced by you? Really? Thinking of the past, Lin Rei only wanted to roll his eyes. He couldn't bear to look back. He was tricked by the system and the little dragon every time. Most importantly, he knew that there might be a pit ahead, but he had no choice but to jump into it. Thinking about it, Lin Rei couldn't stop sighing. For the entire night, Lin Rei's sighs echoed in the cave. Just like that, the sky gradually brightened. The sky turned white and a red sun slowly rose from the east. The scenery was very beautiful, especially the destiny boundary under the morning sun. It was as if it was covered in red clothes, very peaceful and quiet. Outside the cave, Lu Changtian woke up exceptionally early. Dong! Dong! A muffled sound was heard and the earth seemed to be trembling. Long Ming and the others who were sleeping outside were all startled awake by this sound. Awake! Seeing Long Ming and the others get up, Lu Changtian looked at them. He didn't feel embarrassed for waking them up. On the contrary, what made them speechless was that Lu Changtian directly began to instruct them to get to work. Alright, get up and get to work. Looking at Lu Changtian, Long Ming wanted to say no. However, he didn't dare to say it out loud. He didn't have the guts. A smile appeared on his face. After hesitating for a moment, he nodded and replied, "Okay, I'll go now." Lu Changtian could understand Long Ming's feelings at this moment. However, Lu Changtian wanted this kind of feeling where he hated him but couldn't kill him. It couldn't be helped. Whoever had a harder fist would be the boss. Long Ming went to live. As for the rest, they returned to their posts and started a new day of work. As for Lu Changtian, he also found a place with a stream and began to clean up the demonic beasts on his body. The demonic beasts were very big. At least 30 people wouldn't be able to finish eating them. Lu Changtian went to hunt them early in the morning. It was also because of the demonic beasts on his back that he made such a noise and woke everyone up. Dong! When he arrived at the edge of the stream, he threw the demonic beast on his back to the ground. At some point, a dagger had appeared in his hand. Crackle crackle, the dagger pierced through the softest part of the demonic beast's body and began to deal with it. It had to be said that under Lin Rei's constant pressure, Lu Changtian's skill in dissecting demonic beasts was extremely proficient. His movements were smooth and fluid, and he did it in one go. Not long after, Lu Changtian peeled off the entire animal skin. The bloody back was thrown into the stream by Lu Changtian, and was washed away by the water. Looking up at the sky, Lu Changtian saw the red sun rising slowly in the east. The sky was bright. Lu Changtian was anxious. Looks like we have to hurry. In the Divine Valley, Lu Changtian was in charge of Lin Rei's diet and rest. Therefore, when he saw the sun gradually rising, he knew that Lin Rei was almost done. However, Lu Changtian didn't know that Lin Rei didn't sleep the whole night because of the system and the little dragon. He was very upset and was immersed in wine the whole night. Of course, a part of it was because he had been cheated, but a bigger part of it was because he hadn't had the chance to drink his treasured wine for a long time, so he wanted to make up for the lost time. Lu Changtian was busy with the stream. Long Ming didn't stay idle either. After the fire was lit, he walked to the stream and helped Lu Changtian. "Senpai, your technique is amazing." Looking at Lu Changtian's artistic dissection technique, his eyes were completely captivated. Indeed, this kind of dissection was a combination of Lin Rei's self-created dissection technique. The technique was brilliant. Of course, it wasn't only used for dissection. If it was used in battle, the scene would be very bloody. This kind of dissection technique would probably become a top-notch combat technique in the Destiny realm. Even on some cultivation planets, it would be regarded as a top-notch combat technique. After all, this kind of dissection technique was passed down from a sage. Its level could be imagined. Listening to Long Ming's flattery, a smile appeared on his face. "You brat, this thing was passed down to me by Master. If you want to learn, you can slowly practice it. Back then, I was ruthlessly tortured for a year to cultivate to this level. I'm not afraid to tell you that I'm so skilled now. At most, I can be considered skilled. If Master comes personally, the whole monster will be dissected in an instant." Hiss. Just hearing this made his eyes red. Thinking of dissecting such a huge monster in an instant, that scene was absolutely shocking. "Heh, all right. Hurry up and get to work. Learn well. Maybe Master will be happy and teach you some combat techniques that you can use for the rest of your life." After saying that, Lu Changtian got busy again. As for Long Ming, he worked even harder than before. He looked like a calf. "Heh, this brat." How could Lu Changtian not understand Long Ming's thoughts? Thinking of the scene when Lin Rei accepted him as a disciple, thinking about it, Lu Changtian felt very lucky. If he didn't become Lin Rei's disciple, he was afraid that he would still be cooped up in that small city, being the city lord. Thinking about it, Lu Changtian felt that it was interesting. He didn't know what he was thinking at that time, but he was unwilling no matter what. In the cave where Huiyun was, the two had already put on their clothes. Looking at her husband beside her, Huiyun finally believed that this wasn't a dream. She believed that her husband had finally returned. Great, the family is finally reunited. She couldn't help but say this, and her face was full of happiness. Yes, we are finally reunited. Thinking of all the things that had happened over the years, Lin Feng sighed in his heart. Let's go. She reached out and took her husband's hand and walked out of the cave. Although they had been husband and wife for a long time, at this moment, the two were like a couple who had just fallen in love and were very tired of each other. Outside the cave, seeing Huiyun and her husband come out, Lu Changtian hurriedly got up and saluted, "Grand Mistress, Grand Master, good morning. Breakfast will be ready soon. But now that we are here, that's all, so make do with it." Grand Master. This address. Hearing the young man call him Grand Master, Lin Feng felt strange in his heart. He is Rei's disciple. It's normal for him to call you Grand Master. You don't have to feel pressured or burdened. Saying this, she nodded to Lu Changtian. It's okay. Go ahead. Saying this, the two came to the fire and sat down. Where's Rei? Hasn't he gotten up yet? Looking around, Huiyun didn't see her son, so she asked Lu Changtian. Well, yes, Master will wake up in a while. Lu Changtian nodded in response. When we were in the Divine Valley, Master always woke up at this time. Is that so? Hearing this, Huiyun felt disappointed. Thinking that as a mother, she didn't know her son's work and rest habits. She didn't even know much about her son. Thinking about it, she felt a little ridiculous. It's okay. There will be a chance in the future. Looking at his wife's disappointed expression, Lin Feng reached out and grabbed Huiyun's hand, softly comforting her. Chapter 1132. The sun shone brightly in the sky. Lin Rei finally woke up from the wine. Looking at the wine bottles on the ground, Lin Rei sighed, "I didn't expect to drink so much at night." Thinking about how little wine he had left, his heart felt as if it was bleeding. "Brat, don't be like this when you're done with your mouth." The little dragon's voice sounded in Lin Rei's mind. "Tsk, what do you know? My wine has been precipitated for thousands of years. Do you think it's ordinary wine? Really? Every bottle here is a collector's edition. I'm afraid this Destiny world doesn't even have a bottle. Even in the God world, it's a rare item." After saying that, the little dragon rolled its eyes and got up. Using the Imperial Water Art, a gentle stream of water appeared out of thin air and cleansed Lin Rei's body. Suddenly, the smell of wine on his body disappeared. A trace of spirit energy overflowed and the originally wet clothes dried in an instant. Moreover, a strange fragrance came from the clothes. "I've dragged it out." After doing all this, Lin Rei stepped out of the cave. He was very clear about the situation outside the cave. Even if he didn't use his divine sense, Lin Rei could hear everything clearly with just his ears. Ruo Lin and Lin Rei were willing. Even if they were 1,000 meters away, Lin Rei could hear them clearly. Looking at his parents, Lin Rei stepped forward and bowed, Father, good morning." "Oh, Rei is here." Huiyun covered herself. After all, she had been accompanying him these days. However, Lin Feng was different. The moment he saw Lin Rei, he jumped up in surprise. He came to Lin Rei's side and patted Lin Rei's shoulder. Not bad. Your body is strong. Thinking back to when father left, you were still a child. Tsk, time. He. Lin Rei didn't say anything and only smiled. If the old monsters of the God realm were to witness this scene, their jaws would most likely drop from the shock of Lin Feng's actions. One had to know that this was Lin Rei, an existence that was called the devil. When had he ever been treated like this? Fortunately, it was Lin Feng. If it was a stranger who treated him like this, Lin Rei would probably have slapped that person into meat paste. "Alright, hurry up and do it. Why are you so emotional? We'll have many chances to meet in the future. Don't worry, take your time. You can make up for it." Looking at her husband and son, Huiyun waved her hand with a smile. That's right, Dad. You'll have a chance in the future. Lin Rei wasn't lying when he said this. After entering the realm of the gods, Lin Rei would impart the Xuanzong sect's highest cultivation method to him. With the environment of the realm of the gods, even if he slept, he would be able to cultivate to the immortal realm. Although immortal realm cultivators couldn't live forever, they could still live for millions of years. Amen. Lin Feng and Hui Yun sat down in front of the fire. However, this time, Lin Rei also sat between Lin Feng and Hui Yun. The family was very peaceful. Seeing his father Lin Feng's nervous expression, Lin Rei's heart was filled with warmth. Thinking about it, it had been 3 lives. When he first crossed over to the other world, he had a father. However, that father was really, after returning to planet Aqua Blue, by a freak combination of factors, he had a father. However, that father made Lin Rei feel even more unbearable. Now that he had a third life, Lin Rei's heart was filled with warmth. He had finally made up for this aspect of his father since he was young. This feeling was very strange. Although he was also a father, he didn't know how to be a good father. Otherwise, his eldest son, Jin En, wouldn't have died. Of his remaining sons, only his second son, Lin Yun, wasn't close to him. As for the rest, thinking about it, Lin Rei felt uncomfortable in his heart. However, when he thought about what they had obtained, he stopped thinking about it. As long as they were safe and healthy, that was Lin Rei's greatest comfort. Come, son. Let me take a look. This is the most delicious part of this demonic beast. He reached out and tore off a piece of meat from the demonic beast's chest and handed it to Lin Rei. His face was filled with anticipation. Amen? Looking at the meat in front of him, Lin Rei's heart trembled. It was as if a string in his heart had been touched. This feeling was very strange. You don't want to eat? Lin Rei was in a daze and didn't take the meat from Lin Feng's hand in time. For a moment, Lin Feng thought that Lin Rei didn't like to eat it. No, I like it very much. Coming back to his senses and feeling his father's disappointment, Lin Rei hurriedly took the meat in front of him and ate it as if he was swallowing it whole. His appearance was very lively. However, when Lin Feng saw this, his face was full of smiles and his expression was full of doting. Eat slowly, eat slowly. Don't choke. As he spoke, he reached out and handed the cup in front of him over, as if he was afraid that Lin Rei would choke. What kind of status did Lin Rei have? His physical body was in the saint realm. Even if he ate the entire demonic beast, he wouldn't feel choked. However, Lin Rei still took the cup and drank the water in the cup in one gulp. Regarding this, Lin Feng felt very satisfied. This kind of family life was something he had been longing for a long time. On the side, Hui Yun looked at the father and son duo with a smile on her face. Her heart was very relaxed. Lu Changtian and the others didn't want to disturb this kind of scene. They could only obediently wait at the side and silently eat the meat, not daring to speak. As for the scarlet flame tiger, that fellow was wolfing down the food. One could imagine how much it missed this kind of cooked food after not letting it out for 100 years. Now that delicious food was right in front of it, it still couldn't be let down. Wasn't there a saying? No matter how bright the moon is in the West Tower, it's better to have delicious food in front of you. This meal should have been finished very quickly, but Lin Rei liked this feeling very much, so he ate a lot. Originally, it should have been finished in an hour, but in the end, Lin Rei forcibly dragged it out for 4 hours. Regarding this, Lin Feng was still doting on him, and it didn't decrease in the slightest. Phew! I'm full. Wiping his mouth, he turned to look at his parents with a serious expression. Now that he had eaten, it was time to talk about serious matters. Father, Mother, it's the same question as yesterday. Are you willing to follow your son to the realm of the gods? Of course. Before I leave, I will take all the direct descendants of the Lin family with me. As for eldest uncle and the others, I will reconstruct their bodies after I enter the realm of the gods. At that time, you all will be able to reunite. However, if you don't want to leave, that's fine too. I will enslave the entire Heaven's Fate realm. This way, you all will not be harmed. At that time, the people of the entire Heaven's Fate realm will be under the feet of the Lin family for generations to come. Lin Rei's words caused the nerves of Lu Changtian and the others to tremble. Astonishment appeared on their faces, and their hearts were filled with fear. As for Huiyun and Lu Changtian, they were even more shocked. To enslave the entire Heaven's Fate realm, and for generations to come, what kind of power was needed to accomplish this? However, thinking of the decision they made yesterday, Huiyun said, "Son, we will leave with you. You are my son. I still want to see you get married and have children. I still want to wait for my daughter-in-law to be filial to me." "That's right. We will leave with you. Although we are somewhat reluctant to leave our homeland, being able to be with you is enough." Chapter 1133. Looking at his parents' smile and decision, Lin Rei felt a lot more at ease. There was one less thing to worry about yesterday. And, if that's the case, then later, go home and bring Grandpa and the others with you. After that, you will return to the divine world with me. There are a lot of things in the divine world. If there's something here, I'll get it. There's even more delicious food. Not only that, any cultivator from the divine world can easily destroy this Heaven's Fate realm. Over there, you too can cultivate to the highest level of cultivation techniques. It won't be long before you become one of them, or even stronger than them. Most importantly, your son's sect is the top existence in the divine world. Just like that, Huiyun and Lu Ming's answer opened Lin Rei's mouth. His entire style had completely changed. Lin Rei told them about the scenery, local customs, and things that they should pay attention to when they reach the divine world. Lin Rei didn't hold back at all. Time passed by slowly. In the blink of an eye, it was afternoon. Lin Rei's narration had finally ended. Huiyun and Lu Ming were looking forward to the divine world. They wanted to see if the divine world they heard from their son was really like that. 10,000 races stood in great numbers, and the scenery of cultivation flourished. Could any cultivator destroy this Heaven's Fate realm? There's a lot more. When we reach the divine world, I'll get someone to tell you all about it, Lin Rei said, looking at Lu Changtian's expectant expression. He smiled and suddenly stood up. "Go and pack up. Let's leave this place." Oh, right away," Lin Rei's voice sounded in his ears. Lu Changtian recovered from his daze and quickly responded. He then stood up and walked towards the cave. "Long Ming, right?" Yes, this subordinate is Long Ming." Long Ming, who was waiting in the distance, heard Lin Rei's words and quickly responded. He was excited. In Long Ming's eyes, Lu Changtian was a godlike existence. Now that he remembered his name, how could he not be excited? At this moment, even if Lin Rei told him to die, Long Ming would not hesitate in the slightest. As for Long Ming's current appearance, Lin Rei was stunned for a moment before smiling helplessly. "Go and gather your subordinates. During this period of time, you've done a meritorious service by taking care of my mother. Since I'm going to return to the God realm, I'll bring all of you back to the God realm to cultivate." Lin Rei had checked the 30 subordinates before he returned to the body marquee. Some of them had superior grade spiritual roots, while the rest had medial grade spiritual roots. Some of them even had inferior grade spiritual roots. Originally, it was impossible for people with such aptitude to join the Xuanzong sect. However, when he thought about how they had risked their lives to protect his mother when he wasn't around, there was nothing wrong with bringing them up. Really, you really want to bring us along? Long Ming cried out in surprise. His eyes were filled with disbelief. He found it hard to believe that he would be lucky enough to go to the God realm that Lin Rui mentioned. Originally, he thought that Lin Rui wouldn't bring them along when he left. However, when he heard Lin Rui's decision, Long Ming was dumbfounded. Don't waste your breath. Since Brother Lei said that he would bring you along, he naturally won't go back on his words. You'd better go and gather your subordinates quickly. If anyone is slow and delays the time, even if Brother Lei wants to bring you along, I won't be willing. The Scarlet Flame Tiger said. Hee, little tiger, you're really something. Looking at the Scarlet Flame Tiger, Long Ming's face was full of smiles. He didn't have any other intentions. He just felt that the Scarlet Flame Tiger was right. Then I'll go now. I'll go now. Swoosh. Thinking about what the Scarlet Flame Tiger said, Long Ming became anxious. After bowing to Lin Rui, he turned around and activated his cultivation. At 200% speed, he left in front of Lin Rui and the others. Everyone understood Long Ming's excitement. However, the Scarlet Flame Tiger didn't quite understand. Although he knew that they had taken care of Huiyun, that wasn't enough to bring them to the God realm. When he thought of his son, doubt flashed in his eyes. At the side, Lin Rui naturally sensed the Scarlet Flame Tiger's strange behavior. Don't think too much. In any case, we have to go back. Since they are now obeying Little Tion's orders, we might as well bring them along. In the future, they will belong to my little disciple. As for the rest, he can do as he sees fit. All right. The Scarlet Flame Tiger reluctantly accepted this answer. However, when he thought of this group of weaklings, ants. When he thought of this group of ants about to enter the man-eating God realm, he couldn't help but sympathize with them. If he could, he would rather be a martial artist here. Although his cultivation wasn't high, at least this place was safe. Compared to the God realm, this place could be called heaven, a paradise. In the God realm, even if you didn't want to cause trouble, trouble would still find you. In the God realm, you had to be alert at 200% at all times. You couldn't relax for even a moment. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know how you died. Alright, hurry up and eat. Eating won't be able to stop your mouth. As he spoke, he reached out and picked up the Scarlet Flame Tiger. With a suction force, a piece of meat appeared in his hand. He brought it to the Scarlet Flame Tiger's mouth and began to feed it. Hee, Brother Lei's food is delicious. Looking at Lin Rui, the Scarlet Flame Tiger started to eat. When it ate, it didn't forget to mention it. This really made Lin Rui want to laugh. Little tiger is so cute. Seeing the Scarlet Flame Tiger like this, Huiyun couldn't help but speak with envy on her face. Hearing this, Lin Rui looked over. If Mother likes it, when we reach the God realm, we can choose a spiritual beast from the Xuanzong Sect's beast division as a pet. At that time, not to mention the Scarlet Flame Tiger, there will be even cuter ones. That's right. Since our son said so, I will accompany you to choose when the time comes. Lin Feng said. TSK, I think you want to choose a spiritual beast to be your mount. How could Huiyun not know about his intention to find a home for himself? She glared at her husband, then smiled and took the Scarlet Flame Tiger from Lin Rui's hands. The speed of packing was very fast. Moreover, there weren't many things. Basically, it was just some clothes. Soon, Lu Changtian appeared from the cave with bags of various sizes in his hands. Master, everything is organized. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lin Rui nodded. I know. Wait a moment. Wait for Long Ming to bring the people here. Once he is done, we will leave this place. As he spoke, he waved his hand and put the bags of various sizes in Lu Changtian's hands into his storage ring. This is. When Lin Feng saw this scene, he couldn't help but exclaim. In this place, any item in the cultivation world would make them feel curious, even though Lin Feng was so curious about the storage rings that could be found everywhere in the cultivation world. No, not only Lin Feng, even his mother Huiyun also felt that it was magical, let alone Lu Changtian. This is a ring. Drip your blood on the storage ring. You can put the things you want into the ring with your thoughts. This ring is called a storage ring. In the cultivation world, it is a must-have item for killing and robbing. It allows you to travel light and is very convenient. In this ring, it is made of space stone, some formations, and refining methods. Because it is in the shape of a ring, it is called a storage ring. There are also similar bracelets, earrings, and necklaces. Well, that's all. As he spoke, he used his divine thought to take out all kinds of storage rings stored in the system and place them in front of the two elders. Take a look and see what kind of rings you want. For these things, even if there were 1,000 of Lin Rei, he could take them out. When he was in the immortal world, because of his wife and children, he had slaughtered several sects, among which there were no less than 1,000,000 disciples. At that time, he had a shameful attitude, so it was normal for him to kill people and loot their corpses. System brother, there were mountains of storage rings. Of course, there was one thing that Linley was wrong about. In the world of cultivation, only elders, protectors, and sect masters would have storage rings like this. Of course, there were some wealthy sects that would give them to their successor disciples, but there weren't many. Generally speaking, storage bags were very popular in the cultivation world. Of course, if it was a particularly poor planet, even a storage bag could not be taken out. Of course, this storage ring was nothing for Lin Rei. When he was killing people and robbing in the cultivation world, he was too lazy to look at this kind of thing. But later, when he had a sect, it was a little better. After all, a sect was a bottomless pit. Of course, it had a lot of wealth. Moreover, later, more and more apprentices and disciples were endless bottomless pits. If he did not have a shameful attitude to waste, how could he feed so many people? What a joke. In the end, Huiyun and the other two each chose 3 different types of storage rings. Mother Huiyun chose a bracelet-type storage ring. Father Lin Feng also chose a wrist guard. As for Lu Changtian, he also chose an ordinary storage ring. However, the 3 of them did not choose the kind of things that could be found on the streets of the cultivation world. Lin Rei took out low-grade divine tools. The storage space of such low-grade divine tools could fit 3 heaven fate realms, let alone the heaven's fate realm. Moreover, there was still plenty of space. Seeing the 3 of them happily fiddling with their storage divine tools, Lin Rei felt helpless in his heart. However, it was not good for him to express it. After all, he was facing his parents and apprentices. Alright, hurry up and follow the method I told you before. Squeeze out a drop of blood on it so that you can form a preliminary connection with it. When you reach the divine realm and convert your origin energy into divine chi, you can try to refine it. The 3 of them who were fiddling with their storage divine tools heard Lin Rei's words and nodded seriously. They squeezed out a drop of blood with their cultivation and dripped it on the storage divine tool. Whoosh! 3 rays of multicolored light shone from their storage divine tools. However, the moment the multicolored light appeared, it disappeared without a trace. Alright, it should be fine now. Looking at the 3 of them, Lin Rei began to guide them to try to communicate with the storage ring. Feel it with your heart. Let your thoughts enter the storage ring. As for spitting it out, you also need to use your thoughts. According to Lin Rei's explanation, the 3 of them closed their eyes and began to feel it with their heart. This is the space that Ray mentioned? In the pitch-black space, Huiyun stood still and looked around. However, why is it slightly different from what Ray said? Didn't he say that the space was very big? Why is it so small? Looking at the space that was only the size of a room, Huiyun was puzzled. I felt it. Son, your father, I felt it. After exiting the space, Lin Feng was very excited. Emin, it's good that you felt it. Looking at the expression on his father's face, Lin Ray was very satisfied. This was the joy of a family. He already had 2 daughters and such a beautiful granddaughter. Now, his parents also had one. What was there to be dissatisfied with? Soon, not long after Lin Feng woke up, Lu Changtian also woke up. However, Lu Changtian was not as excited as Lin Feng. After waking up, his mother, Huiyun, looked at Lin Ray and asked, "Son, why is the space only the size of a room? Didn't you say that the space in this thing is very big?" On the other side, Lin Feng and Lu Changtian also looked at Lin Ray with confusion when they heard this. The 2 of them were so happy that they forgot about this problem. Now that Huiyun mentioned it, they remembered. This is very simple. Looking at the expectant expressions of the 3 of them, Lin Ray smiled and explained, "Now, your cultivation is too weak, so you can only use the space that you see. However, when your cultivation improves, the space will improve with your strength. Even if you enter the divine realm, this thing will still be useful." Without a doubt, all of the things Linley had taken out were excellent items. How could he possibly give those trashy storage rings to his parents or his apprentices? Hearing this, the 3 of them suddenly understood and nodded. So that's how it is. Just as the 4 of them were talking, Long Ming came from afar with a group of people. Their movements were so loud that it alarmed Lin Ray and the other 3 who were talking. "You're here." Looking at Long Ming and the others, Lu Changtian spoke. He was very satisfied with Long Ming. At first, he wanted Lin Ray to spare his life and let him be a temporary errand boy. Now, he had completely become Lin Ray's follower. "Senior, according to Sir's instructions, I have handed over all the people." Of course, he was referring to Lin Ray, but he didn't know what to call Lin Ray. After all, Lin Ray was Lu Changtian's master. It felt strange for him to call Lu Changtian Senior and Lin Ray Senior. Looking at Long Ming and the others, a smile appeared on his face. "From now on, you will be the disciples of Lu Changtian's branch. As for how to address me, you can call me Lord in the sect and young master outside." He hoped that everyone in the Xuanzong sect would call him that. However, because he was qualified to be the sect master of the Xuanzong sect, he usually called him sect master in the sect. Now that he had stepped down, he naturally couldn't compete with his son for this title. "Yes, young master." Everyone reacted rather quickly. As soon as Linley finished speaking, Longming and the other 36 people all called out, "Young master." Their voices were loud and clear, and they didn't hesitate at all. "Well, if that's the case, let's go." Without waiting for Longming to respond, Lin Ray waved his hand and put everyone into the system. Chapter 1134. Relax, it won't be long before our son releases you. By then, you'll be home before you even see it. Hearing this, Huiyun and Little Lu nodded in response. "Alright, you can do as you see fit." Alright." With a wave of his hand, Huiyun, Lin Feng, Lu Changtian, and the others all disappeared into the system space. Seeing that the matter was settled, Lin Ray entered the system space with his divine telekinesis and arrived at the space where Huiyun and the others were. "Mom, you guys just stay here for a while. It'll be done soon." As he spoke, Lin Rei was still a little worried. He looked up at the sky and communicated with the little dragon with his divine telekinesis. Help me keep an eye on them. Although there's no danger here, who knows if those monsters will go crazy. F***ck, what do you take me for? The little dragon's voice appeared, but its tone was not so pleasant. My cultivation is stronger than yours, and you actually want me to guard the door for you. The more he spoke, the angrier the little dragon became. Of course, this was only on the surface. He had already agreed to it in his heart. Of course, even if Lin Rei did not say anything, he would still keep an eye on them. He understood Lin Rei's temper very well. If Huiyun and the others were harmed in the slightest, all the monsters in the system would be implicated. Thinking back to the time when he caught these monsters, he spent a lot of effort. It was not worth it if they were all exterminated because of a small disappearance. Alright, I'll make it up to you when we get to the Holy Realm. Alright. That's it, I'll be leaving first. Without waiting for the little dragon to finish speaking, Lin Rei left the system as if he was escaping. Huiyun and the others did not know about the conversation between Lin Rei and the little dragon. In the eyes of Huiyun and the others, Lin Rei was just standing there in a daze for a few seconds. They were even more clueless about the existence of the little dragon. You bastard! Seeing Lin Rei running away so fast, the little dragon could not help but sneer and retreat. However, his divine sense had always been on the place where Huiyun and the others were. In the outside world, he returned to his true form and looked down at the scarlet flame tiger beneath him. Now that there were only two of them left, they had more freedom to move around. The scarlet flame tiger's cultivation was only one step away from becoming a peak hierarch. Even in the divine world, it was rare to see a peak hierarch demonic beast. Moreover, the scarlet flaming tiger's cultivation was very low. If it wasn't for its dragon bloodline and Lin Rei's accumulation of heavenly treasures over the years, the scarlet flaming tiger wouldn't have reached this level. Let's go. Yes. Whoa! Hearing Lin Rei's words, the scarlet flaming tiger took a step forward and arrived in front of Lin Rei. Its body suddenly expanded. Of course, this was only enough for Lin Rei to call physical strength. After all, his cultivation was too strong. If he released all of his physical strength, this world might not be able to withstand it. Ha! The scarlet flaming tiger's actions fell into Lin Rei's eyes. A light flashed and a smile appeared on his face. He jumped onto the scarlet flaming tiger's body. Yes, Lian City. As if wanting Lin Rei's praise, the scarlet flaming tiger instantly raised its head and said, "Good, Brother Lei, you did well. My speed is very fast now." Lin Rei understood the scarlet flaming tiger's intentions and quickly smiled and nodded his head. Yes, our little tiger is really great. I'm afraid that even the Dragon Clan would not dare to be arrogant in front of you. Of course. Lin Rei's words were exactly what the scarlet flaming tiger was thinking. It became even more proud and took a step forward. The scarlet flaming tiger stepped on the sky and rushed towards the Lian city that Lin Rei mentioned. As a hierarch, the scarlet flaming tiger could envelop the entire destiny world by releasing a little bit of its divine sense. Finding a Lian city was a piece of cake. In the divine world, inside the Xuanzong Sect, inside the Xuanzong Sect's conference hall, Lin Yun sat on the main seat with a worried expression on his face. It was as if he had encountered something bad. Beside him, Kuei Gang looked at the worried expression on Lin Yun's face and laughed inwardly. I didn't think that the young master would have a time when he was worried. He had been by Lin Yun's side all these years, watching Lin Yun grow step by step from a little immortal to the current supremacy of a region. He could even aspire to be the supremacy of the entire holy world. But now, he was worried to such an extent because of a small matter. Uncle Gang, what do you think I should do? Lin Yun did not turn his head. Instead, he lowered his head and frowned. The indescribable feeling in his heart made him uncomfortable. This little girl, how old is she? She went out for a spin and came back to tell me that she's going to marry that bastard. How long has it been? I. Lin Yun's heart was stifled as he thought about it. Kuei Gang understood the situation very well. However, this was Lin Yun's family matter after all. Although he held a high position in the Xuanzong sect, he did not dare to meddle in this matter. Uncle Gang, just tell me. Now that father is not by my side, you're the only one left. What do you think I should do? That little girl's wings have hardened now, and she actually dared to go against her father for a bastard she just met. Tell me, why did I let her go out to gain experience? Lin Yun's heart was stifled as he thought about it. If he had known this would happen, he would never have let his beloved daughter go out to gain experience. Now, after a few days of going out, she brought back a pretty boy who kept saying that she wanted to marry him. As for Lin Yun, he did not usually see his daughter. Now that his daughter said that she wanted to leave him and get married, how could Lin Yun bear it? Of course, the most important thing was that he did not know anything about that bastard. His family matters were not easy to get to know. How could he let go of his precious daughter so easily? The most important thing was that Lin Rei did not come back. As her grandfather, he did not dare to settle this matter. Sigh. I'm so worried. Lin Yun let out a long sigh. In his heart, this was more tiring than fighting a hierarch cultivator. Seeing how worried Lin Yun was, Kuei Gang couldn't stand it any longer. Lin Yun had been so busy managing the profound sect that he didn't even have time to rest. Even his own wife was neglected. Now that he encountered this problem. TSK, alright, this matter is young master's own fault, but... As he spoke, he thought for a moment and then continued, if young master is here, young master will definitely investigate the other party's identity thoroughly and let young master decide based on that person's character. If the other party is benevolent and has no problem with his character, after a long period of investigation, he might be able to marry his daughter off. If the other party's character is not good and his family matters are not good, there is no need to think too much. If the other party pesters you, just kill him and end it all. Yes, Uncle Gang, your idea is very good. Lin Yun's eyes lit up and a smile appeared on his face. Obviously, he was very optimistic about this idea. I'm joking. Lin Yun's smile made Kuei Gang's heart tremble and his expression freeze. I'm not joking. Since this idea is proposed by Uncle Gang, then I'll leave it to you. After all, you also watched Ling grow up. You don't want Ling to marry someone with ulterior motives, right? Chapter 1135. His expression turned even uglier. He was just saying it out of goodwill, but he didn't expect this matter to fall on his head due to a freak combination of factors. Thinking about the consequences if he messed up this matter and Lin Rei found out, he couldn't help but feel a chill in his heart. Lin Li, who was in the Destiny realm, didn't know that not long after he left, his granddaughter was about to get married. If Lin Rei found out, the family of the man Lin Ling fancied would suffer a calamity. Lin Rei wouldn't be able to stop himself from investigating the other party's 18 generations of ancestors. Moreover, just like Kuei said, if the other party's family wasn't good and the man had impure intentions towards Lin Ling, the consequences would be unimaginable. Directly killing him would be too easy. Pulling out his tendons, flaying his skin, and imprisoning his soul to suffer the corrosion of the illusory spirit blood fire was the most terrifying thing. Heavenly Fate World, Lien City's Gate. In just half an hour, the Scarlet Flame Tiger carried Lin Rei to this place. Looking at the city that gave birth to him, his home, he felt a sense of homecoming. Finally back. In his heart, Lin Rei considered this place as his home. But even so, he had to leave. He had an unfinished mission and his wife in the divine world. Brother Lei, this place. Looking at the dilapidated city, the Scarlet Flame Tiger couldn't hide the disdain in his eyes. Ah, you! How could Lin Rei not understand the Scarlet Flame Tiger's expression? Indeed, when compared to the immortal realm, the god realm, or even the lowest level of cities in the cultivation world, this place couldn't compare at all. However, in Lin Lei's eyes, this was his home, his roots. Although compared to those pavilions and magnificent cities, this place couldn't be considered much, Lin Lei had no choice. He just felt that this place was better than those places. Alright, don't think too much, let's go. He didn't say anything else and walked towards the city with the same smile on his face. The Crimson Flame Tiger had returned to its original puppy form. However, it was still an ultimate god realm demonic beast. No matter how hard it tried to hide its aura, it could not hide its aura that had merged with heaven and earth. Within the city, the scenery was still the same. It was exactly the same as when he left. It was still bustling with activity. There were people hawking their wares, setting up stalls, and soliciting business. It was still the same as before. He still remembered how he had spared no effort in order to escape back then. He had thought of everything he could think of. Now that he thought about it, it was really funny. Brother Lei, I wanna eat that. Just as Lin Rei was reminiscing about his childhood, the Crimson Flame Tiger's voice came from the bathroom, pulling Lin Rei back from his memories. Which one? He lowered his head and bent down to pick up the Scarlet Flame Tiger as he asked. Is that it? As he spoke, he went to the stall at the side. The stall was filled with fruits, and the aroma of the fruits assailed his nostrils. Even Lin Rei was tempted to pick them up and taste them. All right. Nodding his head, he went to the front of the fruit stall and picked up a fruit. That's not right. Why have I never seen this fruit before? The fragrance is so strong. What is it? Seeing Lin Rei's puzzled expression and the question that came out of his mouth, the stall owner asked, You must be from another city, right? This thing is a specialty of our city. It only appeared a few years ago. I have never seen it before. However, it seems like only our city has it within a radius of 10,000 li. That's why it's listed as a specialty. Not knowing what Lin Rei was going to say, the stall owner interrupted Lin Rei's words and began to tell Lin Rei enthusiastically. When this thing first appeared, no one knew its name. Later on, everyone called it 6 mango. Don't look down on it because it's small. It's very delicious. What do you mean by that? This old lady is not a cultured person, but this old lady promises that as long as you eat it, you'll be able to eat it. You'll definitely want to eat a second one. Saying that, she stretched out her hand. Grow it. If it's not sweet, it's free. Looking at the mango in his hand, and then at the excited expression on the stall owner's face, Lin Lei didn't decline any further. Alright, since that's the case, then this little one will be disrespectful. Saying that, he placed the 6 mango in his hand at the corner of his mouth. He opened his mouth and took a small bite before chewing. This taste. What's wrong, Brother Lei? Hearing Lin Rei's exclamation, the Scarlet Flame Tiger transmitted its voice to him. This taste is very good. Although there is no spiritual energy flowing through the fruit, the taste is simply too good. Saying that, he opened his mouth and swallowed the 6 mango in his hand. In response, the Scarlet Flame Tiger in his arms could not help but want to rush up and try the 6 mango that even Lin Rei thought was delicious. Of course, it also had this thought. However, just as this thought appeared, it was pushed back down by Lin Rei's palm. Boss, this fruit is very delicious. How about this, you can send all of these fruits to the Lin family. When the time comes, you can say that Lin Rei asked you to send them. As for the money, saying that, he reached into his bosom and took out a gold coin. He handed it to the boss. Here, this is the money for the fruits. As for the rest, just treat it as your travel expenses. Lin family? You are? The Lin family was very famous in Lian City. Currently, the Lin family was the largest family in Lian City. Who did not know of them? This one is Lin Rei, a descendant of the Lin family. Lin Rei bowed and said. So it's like that. So you're a member of the Lin family. The old woman had an expression of understanding. However, Lin Rei saw a trace of something wrong from the old woman's expression. What's going on? This old man, Brother Lei, I want to eat, I want to eat. Just as Lin Rei was strangely looking at the old man, the scarlet flamed tiger's noisy voice appeared in his mind and woke him up. Okay. Here you go. Lin Rei doted on the little dragon very much. He immediately took some 6 mangoes from the stall and left. Delicious. This fruit is too delicious. It's much better than the god fruits from the god realm. Finally, the scarlet flame tiger ate the fruit. At this moment, it finally understood why Lin Rei cried out in surprise. However, Lin Rei did not know that not long after he left, the originally excited old man's expression suddenly changed. His expression was filled with hatred that made one's heart tremble. Lin family, Lin Rei, Lin family. Previously, I thought that the Long family was already heartless enough. Who would have thought that the Lin family is gone? The originally suppressed Lin family is even more hateful than the Long family. Despicable. Thinking about all the things that the Lin family had done in this short period of time, a wave of hatred rose in her heart. Thinking about how she had just sold her fruit to the Lin family, she felt very disgusted in her heart. Forget it, old woman. The Lin family is too powerful. We can't afford to offend them. On the side, when the old man who had also set up the stall heard the old woman's words, a trace of tears flowed out of his eyes. The world is heartless and treats all living things as straw dogs. This is the way of the world. Who can be blamed for it? Chapter 1136. Lin Rei, who was far away, didn't know what the two were talking about. At this moment, Lin Rei was enjoying himself as he strolled around. Of course, the main reason was because the scarlet flame tiger was making a racket, eating this and looking at that. However, along the way, Lin Rei also ate quite a bit. Although the scarlet flame tiger was being greedy at first, slowly, it became Lin Rei strolling around. Along the way, Lin Li would stop every now and then. When he came across a stall with good food, he would stop to try it. When he came across something interesting, he would stop as well. Just like that, Lin Li, who should have been able to reach his destination in an instant, ended up spending 4 to 6 hours. It could be said that all of the delicacies of Lian City had been swept clean by Lin Li. Brother Lei, when did you become so greedy? I remember when we were in the divine realm, no, whether it was the cultivation world, the immortal world, or the divine realm, you hated shopping the most, not to mention eating all the way here. The scarlet flame tiger was full of doubts. He really didn't understand. Why did Lin Rei become like this? Could it be that after living in this world for more than 10 years and being reborn, he brought some of Lin Rei's characteristics back to this world? Scarlet flame tiger, how could you think like this? He really couldn't think of any other reason to explain Lin Rei's current behavior. Hearing Little Tiger's words, Lin Rei was stunned. However, after thinking about it, he seemed to have changed a lot. However, Lin Rei didn't feel bad about this change. On the contrary, Lin Rei felt that his body was much more relaxed. Okay, let's not talk about this anymore. This is my home in this world. Now that they were out of the courtyard, Lin Rei stopped and turned to look at the courtyard's gate. He pointed at the place and introduced it to Little Tiger. Oh. As Lin Rei spoke, he looked at the direction he pointed. A courtyard gate with a plaque of Lin Province appeared in the Scarlet Flame Tiger's line of sight. There were 2 golden lions sitting in front of the entrance. The entrance was red, and the signboard with the words, Lin Province, was also very high-end and classy. It was very different from when he left home in the past. How should he put it? Back then, the Lin family could be said to be low-key, luxurious, and cultured. To put it bluntly, they didn't flaunt their wealth. However, when he saw the front door of the Lin family, Lin Rei was stunned. There were only 4 words in his mind. This is my home. What happened? Looking at this unfamiliar door, Lin Rei was slightly puzzled. Although it was because of Lu Changtian's help that he got rid of Long Ming's entanglement and pushed the Lin family to the top of Lian City, but Lu Changtian didn't seem to have said that the Lin family had become so tasteless and high-profile. What's wrong? Brother Lei? Sensing Lin Rei's abnormal behavior, Xiao Hu spoke. Oh, it's nothing. I'm just a little surprised. I feel a little strange. Maybe I'm overthinking. As he spoke, a strange expression flashed across his face. Then, he became clear-headed. Then let's go in quickly. I want to see what the place Brother Lei came from is like. The Scarlet Flame Tiger didn't notice the strange expression on Lin Rei's face. He only looked as if he wanted to see what was going on. Heh, you little guy. He smiled and shook his head. Okay, I'll go in now. Then, he walked into the Lin family. Although he had 1,000 doubts in his heart, he didn't think too much about it. Clang! Just as Lin Rei reached the front door, a scene that stunned Lin Rei appeared. When Lin Rei approached the door, the guards in front of the door crossed their swords and blocked Lin Rei's path. Who are you? A brother of the Lin family. How can you barge in? Are you tired of living? Seeing the 2 of them acting like this, Lin Rei frowned. His face darkened. Although he left, it shouldn't be to the extent that the guards didn't recognize him. What's more, the cultivation levels of the 2 guards were not weak. Linley was even more puzzled. He knew about this world. How could the guards of a small place like this have such cultivation levels? Furthermore, this was Linley's home. He knew very well that when he left home, the guards didn't even have cultivation levels. But now, the more he thought about it, the more he thought about the various signs along the way. His heart sank and a bad premonition surged in his heart. Wu, bastard, how dare you disrespect Brother Lei? You're courting death. The Scarlet Flame Tiger roared. In the next moment, the Scarlet Flame Tiger's figure turned into a ray of light and disappeared into Lin Rei's arms. Poochie, when they saw the Scarlet Flame Tiger, it was already inside the door. The 2 guards at the door were already lying on the ground. A trace of blood gushed out from their mouths. Heh, you little guy. Here, without my permission, you're not allowed to hurt anyone. Do you understand? Looking at the 2 guards, Lin Rei helplessly smiled and stopped it. Oh, I'll listen to Brother Lei. Although it didn't understand, the Scarlet Flame Tiger still agreed. In its heart, Lin Rei's words were an imperial edict. Alright, let's go. Stepping into the Lin family, Lin Rei didn't reprimand Little Tiger's actions. On the contrary, he reached out his hand and little Tiger's body appeared uncontrollably in Lin Rei's arms. Lin Rei's hand kept stroking little Tiger's head. Little Tiger also had a comfortable expression. Only Lin Rei would dare to do this. The Scarlet Flame Tiger was a godly venerable rank monster. Who would dare to do this to it? Although the Lin family hadn't returned, it was still easy to find the reception hall. However, what puzzled Lin Rei was that he didn't see any guards or maids along the way. Even in this Lin province, Lin Rei couldn't sense the aura of his grandfather and fourth uncle. What's going on? Did they go out? That's not right. Where could the old master have gone? Moreover, hasn't the old master been protecting first uncle and the others? This problem could be explained even more. Something had happened to the Lin family and it wasn't a small matter. It was even possible that his grandfather and uncle had met with an accident. Thinking about it, his face darkened. His divine sense instantly rushed out and enveloped the entire Lin family. Found it. Not too far away, Linley found a girl dressed like a servant, who was seated by the side of a pond. Retracting his divine sense, his figure flashed. In the next moment, Lin Rei's figure appeared beside the girl in his divine sense. Looking at the girl, Lin Rei didn't recognize her. He hadn't even seen her before in the Lin family. Who are you? A maid in this residence? Do you know what happened in this Lin province? Ah, as soon as Linley finished speaking, a startled cry rang out from the woman's mouth. Turning her head, she looked at Lin Rei and quickly retreated. She only stopped when she felt something. Who are you? Why did you appear in my Lin province? Speak, what do you want? One question after another came out of the girl's mouth. Lin Rei was stunned. Chapter 1137. Little girl, I think I asked you first. Out of courtesy, you have to answer my question first before I answer yours. Anne. As he spoke, Linley carefully sized up the woman. After confirming that he had never seen her before, he continued, I've never seen you in the Lin family. I can tell you that you've only just arrived here. But you said you're from the Lin family. This means that you're either a direct descendant of the Lin family, and I know all of them, or you're from a side branch. However, the Lin family seems to have a rule that side branches can't appear in the backyard of the Lin family. Speak, who are you? Lin Rei questioned her word by word. His voice grew louder and louder, to the point that the girl in front of him was stunned. It's fine, speak slowly. Seeing that the girl was stunned, Lin Rei found a clean place to sit down. A bottle of wine appeared in Lin Rei's hand out of thin air. He opened the lid and took a big gulp of wine. You. Coming back to her senses, she looked at Lin Rei. The girl didn't know who this man was, but from the information just now, he might be a member of the Lin family. However, she had never seen him before. She was puzzled. I'm Lin Ruoshi, the daughter of the third elder of the Lin family, Lin Ji. Lin Ruoshi introduced herself with an indescribable pride on her face. It was as if being the daughter of the third elder of the Lin family was something to be proud of. However, Lin Rei was stunned by Lin Ruoshi's words. Third elder? What a joke, he was born in the Lin family. He had never heard of the existence of the third elder. Furthermore, in the Lin family, other than his grandfather, there were only his uncles. Other than that, there were only a few side branches. Where did the third elder come from? At this moment, Lin Rei was even more certain that something must have happened to the Lin family. Otherwise, why would the position of the third elder appear? His originally serious expression became even more serious. He raised his head and looked at Lin Ruoshi. A faint killing intent flashed between his brows. Lin Ruoshi, not a bad name. But, from what I know, the Lin family doesn't have the position of the third elder. As for your father, Lin Ji, I've never heard of him. Tell me, who's in charge of the Lin family now? Where's the fourth master of the Lin family? Also, what about the elders of the Lin family? I remember that the Lin family had an old butler named Lin Zhong. Why didn't I sense his aura along the way? You, who are you? Hearing Lin Rui's words, the woman's expression changed drastically. She could not help but back away, her face filled with vigilance. She knew the fourth master of the Lin family, and she knew even more about that old housekeeper Lin Zhong. It was precisely because she knew all of these people that she was so sleepy, surprised, and even shocked. That shouldn't be the case. The people from that branch still asked about it. Didn't they say that they had all been swapped out? Thinking of this, she raised her head to look at Lin Rui. Recalling that there was no man in the portrait, she felt slightly relieved. Forcing herself to calm down, she raised her head to look at Lin Rui and replied, I don't know who you are, but what I want to say is that it's currently under the control of our branch. As for the fourth master and the others you mentioned, I'm sorry, but this is a Lin family secret. I can't say anything. So, you know now. Since you're not a member of the Lin family, you should leave quickly. This time, I'll pretend that I didn't see you. Having said that, she turned around and was about to leave. Your branch? From the message just now, Lin Rui understood that fourth uncle and the others must be in danger. However, he was more curious about the branch that Lin Ruoshi mentioned. Lin Ruoshi did not reply and continued to walk forward. Since you don't want to say, then stay. Raising his hand, a beam of light shot out from Lin Rui's finger. The light flashed and rushed into Lin Ruoshi's body at an incredible speed. What's going on? Why can't I move? The moment the light disappeared from Lin Ruoshi's body, Lin Ruoshi, who was about to leave, suddenly froze in place. No matter what she did, she couldn't move her body at all. Humph, little girl, acting so arrogant in front of this sovereign. Do you really think this sovereign is easy to bully? Looking at Lin Ruoshi, Lin Rui coldly snorted. With a thought, Lin Rui appeared in the system in the next instant. At this moment, Hui Yun and Lin Feng were sitting together in silence. Neither of them said a word. They just sat together quietly and looked up at the sky. The scenery behind them was very peaceful. Looking at the two of them, Lin Rui was stunned. Then, he came back to his senses and walked behind his parents. He coughed lightly and said, Dad, Mom. Hearing their son's voice, the two of them came back to their senses and stood up. When they turned around and saw Lin Rui, their faces were full of smiles. They were very happy. Son, why are you here? Are you home? Lin Feng asked with an indescribable excitement on his face. As the old saying goes, one should not travel far when one's parents are at home. Now that he had left for so many years, how could he not be excited when he was home? Looking at his father's expression, Lin Rui's heart was filled with panic. Although he didn't know if fourth uncle and the others had stopped them, if they were really in danger, based on the current situation, his father would definitely be very sad. Forget it, let's not let Dad know about this for now. Looking at his father's excited expression, Lin Rui hid the matter of fourth uncle and the others. Dad, do you know about the other bloodline of the Lin family? Now, Lin Rui was desperate. He didn't know if his father knew about it, but he was sure that his mother, Hui Yun, definitely didn't know. This was because she had never mentioned the other bloodline of the Lin family. If it weren't for today's incident, he was afraid that he would never know about it. What, the other bloodline of the Lin family? Hearing this, Lin Feng's expression changed abruptly. His original smile disappeared without a trace, and was replaced by fear. Ray, how did you know about the other bloodline of the Lin family? Lin Feng asked. Looks like it's true. Looking at his father's reaction, Lin Ray knew that Lin Ruoxi was telling the truth. There really was another bloodline of the Lin family. Moreover, looking at his father's expression, this other bloodline of the Lin family seemed to be very terrifying. Ray, hurry up and tell me, how did you know about the other bloodline of the Lin family? I don't remember telling you about this. Yun, did you tell Ray about this? Seeing that Lin Ray was silent, Lin Feng turned his head to look at his wife. However, Hui Yun was also stunned. It was obvious that she was also very confused about this matter. No. After replying, she lifted her head to look at Lin Ray. Ray, how did you know about this? I don't remember mentioning it to you. Moreover, only the direct descendants of the Lin family know about the other bloodline of the Lin family, and they are all elders. You, looking at the two of them asking so nervously, Lin Ray was dumbfounded. He was the only one who didn't know about this matter. Hurry up and tell me, how did you know? You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.